Hello, everybody, and welcome to the webinar. I'm really glad everybody could join us today. So today we're going to be talking about a lot of cool stuff, starting with 12 plus credit lines you can get for your business, even as a startup, or even if you have challenge credit. You'll find I'm pretty bad at math and pretty good at under promising and over delivering. So I'm sure we'll be diving into well more than 12 today. And as time permits and with your permission, we'll dive in and talk a little bit more about business credit building as well. Even look into the steps of how this works, again, if time permits. So my expectation for today is that we are probably going to go about 90 minutes, right on the nose. And I talk pretty fast to provide a bunch of information in that time frame. So I would expect for us to go through a lot of things during that time. Let me get started by introducing myself to you. If you're not familiar with who I am, my name is Ty Crandall. I've actually got about 17 years now of financial experience. So I've been in the consumer and business financing space for quite some time. I built a consumer credit company, sold that many years ago, and I've been in the business and commercial credit space working with business credit and loans ever since. I speak about business credit worldwide, been invited as far as Singapore, and I speak all over the place. I will be in Atlanta next week, and I think I'm in Miami this week. So I have a lot of knowledge on this topic to a point where this is pretty much what I'm doing, is speaking about this all the time year round. I'm actually also the author of two of the best-selling books on credit, consumer credit and business credit. One's called Perfect Credit, one's called Business Credit Decoded. If you even type in anything to do with credit in Amazon, you're typically going to run into one of my books. And I've also, because of the books and everything I've done with my experience, really am seen as the authority on the topic when it comes to commercial credit, with news stations, podcasts, radios, TV, Inc., Forbes, Entrepreneur. Those are some of the places that I've been featured on this topic, and I'm really blessed to have an opportunity to oversee the largest business credit partner division in the United States here at Credit Suite. What that means is it means we have thousands of partners around the country that sell business credit financing. So we're responsible for providing all of them the knowledge they need on all these topics, and then helping all of their thousands and thousands and thousands of clients obtain business credit financing. So I don't tell you this to boast or brag or anything. I'm a very humble person. I just tell you this because I want you to know my experience and background, so you know I have the knowledge to talk to you about what we're going to be diving into today. So in advance, you want to attend the event in Atlanta next week, just email us, info@creditsuite.com. We'll talk a little bit more about that. I'll just be up there one day with some select groups of people. And then I'll be in Miami for 3 days if you're interested in coming down and learning there. So I know a lot of you will have questions, and actually I'll dive in a little bit more about myself. A lot of you are going to have questions along the way. Save your questions. My request is to save them to the end. And the reason is because more than likely in the next 90 minutes, we're going to probably answer almost every question you may have. And then what isn't answered, we'll save it to the end. And I'll make sure that we get those questions answered. I try to stick around, and whether it be through email follow-up, phone follow-up, or right here live, make sure that all your questions are answered, just so you know, because I know a lot of comments are coming in. A little bit more about me. Look, I live down here in Florida, love having all different types of funds, hanging out with my family. And this is a picture, some of the pictures just of my life. So you can just kind of get familiar with me outside of the workspace. I do a lot of cool things. This is us over here in Disney. We spend a lot of time at Disney. A little cool fun fact is we pretty much live at Disney during the summer. My kids have a couple months off of soccer, and that tends to be where we have an RV. We stay at their campgrounds for a couple months through the year, and I drive back and forth to work and to Tampa. So a little bit about me. Enough about me. Let's talk about you. So look, most people fail trying to get money to grow their business, and you know this and I know this. And the reason that I find when I stand in front of large groups is I ask them, hey, look, where would you go if you need money? And almost everybody uniform together says that they go through their bank. And this is the reason that most people fail to get money. It's not that money's not available. It's just that people don't know where to go to get it. They're trying to go to the wrong place. A lot of people don't realize that these funding options that we're going to talk about today even exist. They don't know how to access them. So I call this a cash access problem. The problem isn't that there's not money available. There's more money available than you'll ever know what to do with. The problem is that most business owners, most entrepreneurs just don't know how to access the money. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about today. A lot of people don't even know that you can build business credit for your EIN that's not linked to your personal Social Security number. A lot of people don't even know or realize that this is actually possible. And so they don't know how to do the things that we're actually going to talk about today. And that's one of the reasons that I wanted to do this, to make sure that you do have access, that you do know how these things work so you can access that capital that you need. Now, many entrepreneurs don't know that money is available based on business strengths. So a lot of business owners don't know that you can get money just based on having one strength here or having a guarantor with a strength where you don't need all of these complicated things to get approved for a lot of loans like you're going to see at bank loans. So are you in the right place? It's 90 minutes of your time. It's important. Well, if you're looking for money to start or grow a business, that's all we're going to talk about. If you want high limit credit accounts, revolving accounts that aren't linked to your social, you can secure regardless of personal credit, we're going to be diving into that as well. If you want the easiest and fastest way to get the most money for your business, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about as well. And if you're looking to get credit lines and loans, we're going to map out a bunch of different ways that you're able to successfully do so. So let's talk about credit lines. So when we talk about business credit lines, we're ultimately talking about what's defined as an agreement between a financial institution or private investor that establishes a maximum loan amount that a borrower could access. You already know how credit lines work. The nice thing about them is that you have a limit, you can use up to that limit. When you pay it down, you can reuse that account. Okay, so credit lines provide flexibility because of this, because you can use them and basically reuse them. Now, borrowers can use their line of credit and only pay interest on what you use. So that's another huge benefit, especially if you're in the beginning stages of your business. When you're in the beginning stages of the business, it becomes very important to have payments as low as possible. And you can definitely do so when you have credit lines, because you could pay what you're only on what you're using. And then as you pay it down, your payments go back to zero. And credit lines can also be reused. And again, that's one of the biggest reasons that people like credit lines, is because you can use them, you can reuse them again and again. So it gives you complete flexibility at that point. Now, credit lines are typically unsecured. What does unsecured and secured mean? It's collateral. You know, a secured credit line is something where you're providing some kind of security, some kind of collateral, where if you default, the bank takes that collateral. Unsecured is what most credit cards are, and also what most credit lines are. And that's where there is no collateral, where you're not pledging collateral, where in case you ever default, you're not giving the bank assets that they can come and just take back as part of your default. So credit lines are the most commonly requested loan type in the business world. They're very common, but the problem is, at the same time, they're also extremely hard to get. Okay, so the problem is that most people are trying to get these right from the beginning as a startup, and they're just not able to do so because, again, these is one of the hardest kind of loans you can get. It kind of goes in this order. Credit card is the easiest, the loan is the second, and credit line is the third and most difficult form of financing that you can get. So although they're popular, most people want them, they're really hard to get, which is why it's so hard to find these type of credit lines. As a matter of fact, up until recently, most credit lines you can really get, you had to go through a bank. You had to basically meet SBA requirements to even have any kind of chance of actually getting approved. So again, very difficult to get, which is one of the reasons that we are working on fixing this right now, or this is one of the reasons that we're doing this webinar, to fix this problem right now, so you know exactly how to access these. Many are also very tough to qualify for, requiring good credit, good time in business, and good financials to be able to actually get approved. So, but there are other credit cards and lines that you know about that are available for startups, bad credit, and even if you have no financials. And that's some of the stuff that we're going to be coming in and talking about today, just to give you the ability to be able to do these things and to actually succeed doing these things, getting access to this kind of money. And that's really the goal today, is how can we help you come in and actually succeed with being able to obtain capital, even when other people are really struggling out there because they don't know necessarily the best place to go to be able to do so. So let's start with the big banks, because look, this is really where the rubber meets the road to kind of begin with. You know, if you're going to think about going to your big bank, although it's not the place to start, it is the place you'll end. And by that, I mean that you're going to want to come in and you're going to want to end up getting SBA loans and credit lines. You're going to want to get these. These are the lower rate, the better terms that you're ever going to get. Now, most of these are offered through conventional banks, and most of them are basically backed by SBA. So, little myth here, SBA doesn't really lend money, except they have some micro loan options. What they do is they guarantee the money that banks lend. So if a bank lends you 100 grand, SBA says we'll cover them for 90. If you default on the loan, SBA pays 90 of the 100 to the bank, and the bank has really little risk. So as a result of that, they usually offer these SBA loans because they focus on conservative risk. So as a result of them focusing on conservative risk, then they can take a government or an SBA insured loan and still make it practical to offer loans and credit lines to you. Now, these credit lines I mentioned are the hardest to qualify. And the reason they're harder to qualify, just so you know, if you haven't known in the past, is because you got to qualify with SBA, and then you also have to qualify with the bank as well. So it's difficult because you have two different places you have to come qualify for. So most banks offer what are called SBA CAPLines, and these are basically 5 different types of credit lines that are offered directly from SBA. Okay, now from SBA, CAPLines is the umbrella program under which SBA helps business owners meet short-term and cyclical working capital needs. That's what CAPLines basically are. So credit limits are available up to 5 million. Loan qualification requirements are the same as with other SBA programs. So there's 5 different kinds of lines. And again, I'm getting the hardest stuff out of the way first. Let's just get the bank stuff out of the way in the beginning. Then we talk about the significantly easier to qualify stuff. So seasonal lines, just what it sounds like. It's basically a credit line that's meant for a business that has a seasonal business, okay? A contract line. This is basically for contractors. So a contract line is basically for those people really in the construction industry. And as a matter of fact, so is a builder's line. So the reason that these work for these industries is that basically when it comes down to it, is that these industries, you have builders that build homes, you have contractors that do the work, you have contractors that don't get paid sometimes till that home is sold and the money is collected. So there's a bunch of downtime between when they get paid, which is why these credit lines were designed. And then you have a contract line as well. The contract line, I'm talking about the builder's line. Then you have a standard asset line and a small asset line. And these are basically for people that need money for short terms because they're issuing credit, is what it really comes down to. They're providing credit. They need money in the meantime of that credit coming in. And so depending on how big of a loan your credit line you want, there's 2 different kind of what are called asset-based credit lines. So if you don't fit within these niches, they still have some credit lines, but those are the 5 main ones that they have. Now, to get approved, you got to have good personal and business credit. Okay, SBA states that you shouldn't even have blemishes on your report. So your credit has to be excellent on the personal and the business side. If you have no established business credit, you cannot ever get an SBA loan. It's not possible. And the reason for that is that SBA requires a FICO SBSS, which is your FICO small business score. They require a FICO SBSS of 140. You can't have a 140 if you don't have business credit established. It's impossible. So you have to have good of both, and they have to be established to get approved. You have to have good bank credit. Did you know that the banks have an internal credit score? They do. It's called bank credit. It's also called a bank rating. And in order for you to have an acceptable bank rating to get a bank loan or an SBA loan, you have to have at least 10 grand in your account on average over the last 90 days. A lot of you probably don't have that. Why am I mentioning it? You need to know where you're going, right? So I am an avid pilot and I'm an avid sailor. I sail boats and I fly airplanes. And I'll tell you, one of the most important parts of both of those is I have to know how to navigate. I have to know how to get to where I am going. If I don't, I'm never going to get there, right? Jumping on a ship with no idea of the destination or in a plane, well, that's just really bad decision and especially in a plane, because I'm going to run out of fuel. Sailboat, I got a better shot because I don't take gas. But the bottom line is that you have to know where you're going. By knowing what SBA's requirements are and what you need to meet, you know the goals to work to get the best long-term low rate financing you can get. Business and personal collateral to offset the debt, resumes, business plan, 3 years financials. Yeah, it's exhausting. This is why I got this out of the way early. Let's talk about where you're going, where you eventually want to be. But again, this is not the most friendly, because you have to have credit, you have to have collateral, you have to have cash flow, you have to have financials and business plans, and whew, a lot of you just don't have that. So let's talk about some that are more easy to qualify. So there's a lot of alternative SBA credit lines too, and these are offered basically through private investors and alternative lenders that are offering credit lines. These are much easier to qualify for than SBA loans themselves, so they're a lot easier for you to get approved for than what you would get down, or what you would actually be able to qualify with SBA. And they also require much less documentation for approval, sometimes limited or no documentation to get these kind of lines approved. Rates are 7% or higher, similar to SBA. Loan amounts 25,000 to the millions. Loans are based typically on 2 different things. It's usually based on revenues per tax returns. 1, here's what you need to know. Okay, even if you're in a startup type stage of your business, when your accountant tells you to write off everything at the end of the year, If you want money for your business through loans and credit lines, don't do it. There is a huge difference between somebody that shows $5,000 in profit at the end of the year and somebody that shows $5,000 loss. And I'm not talking about $10,000 difference. What I'm talking about is the fact that lenders, all these type of alternative lenders that can give you low rates, long terms, and right below a level of SBA, they're just not going to touch you if you don't have the actual tax returns that show some kind of profit. Even any kind of profit makes a difference between you getting this kind of line and getting nothing at all. So I'm telling you this because as you get to the end of the year, try not to show a loss. If you show some kind of profit and don't spend everything just so you can show a loss, then you have a much better chance of getting business financing. Second factor is that, and they also will look at P&Ls, balance sheets, etc. Second factor is credit score. A lot of these want to see 680 plus credit score. Some of them you can get in with a 620 credit score. If you have average to good credit and you've got revenue and you can actually show them per your tax returns, well, these are pretty good options for you because they can actually work. It's good terms comparable to SBA, but easier to qualify. Now, cash flow financing credit line is something that's fairly new in the last couple of years and offered only by select sources. So when we talk about merchant cash advances or what we call revenue lending, these basically give you an easy way to get money very quickly. Okay, they've quickly become the most popular type of loan product that's out there today due to that, because it's so simple to qualify for these kind of financing. Basically, all you need is 10,000 in revenue to get approved, and you need to have about a 500 FICO score. Okay, now they're also going to want to see that you've been in business about 1 year or longer. Okay, so that being said, that's not always the case. If you have 5,000 in revenue, there are still lenders that will do that. If you have 6 months in business, there are still lenders that will do that. But primarily, most lenders in this space want to see 10 grand in revenue, 1 year in business. Again, we get a lot of deals done by exception with only 6 months in business or only 5,000 a month in revenue. But that's the requirements. Now, I say here 500 FICO scores. It's not 100% accurate. That's what most of them require. But we have a lot of sources that don't require any credit check on these loans. So the way these loans work, it's pretty simple. What they want to see is that you have consistent revenue and you manage it responsibly. You don't overdraw the bank account. You don't have non-sufficient funds. You're putting more money in the account than going out. All the indicators of a bank account that you're kind of doing things the right way, the way that they would want you to do it. That's what they're looking at, is how you manage your business. The mindset here is, hey, look, if you have a business and you're managing it, you're bringing in money and you're managing it, more money's coming in the account and you're not going negative, well, these are pretty good indicators that you're going to be able to pay back a loan. So that's all they're primarily looking at. They don't really look at credit or cash flow. Some sources now are even offering credit lines with these instead of the actual loans. Okay, and here is one of our clients that actually benefited from this. So doctor, client of ours, came in to pay off a $417,000 tax lien, had bad credit, 580 credit score. And in the end, we ended up getting him 1.5 million over the course of 2 years. We got him the money he needed to pay off the tax lien. He ran for office. He opened up another practice, and he went from having a failing business to having a double in size successful business, even with credit issues, using revenue lending and many other different kind of financing that we were able to do as well. So this is a perfect example of how this type of financing can take somebody that has credit issues and then actually come in and be able to help you be able to still qualify for financing. So when we talk about this financing for the credit line, you'll need to have at least a $10,000 in revenue per bank statements, possibly tax returns. They want to make sure that you probably have the 10,000 in revenue for the actual credit line portion of this, as for the credit line portion of this. So again, you could probably get in with less than that with some of our loans, because we have lenders that'll do it, but not as much in the credit lines. The credit lines of these are harder to qualify for. Usually they're going to give you line amount of about 20 grand. That's what they're typically going to give you. It's about 20 grand. Now, the way that this works is that, they can typically offer you both. So what happens with merchant cash advances revenue lending is this. You have a bunch of people that basically lend money as what we call first position loan. They give you money based on your revenue. But then there's a lot of lenders out there that are what are called second position. They see that places that give you the first loan, then they want to give you a second loan for another 20, 25 grand. So what happens is some of these primary sources have realized this. And what they're doing is they're now offering you a second credit line on top of the first loan. So they give you the first loan, then they give you a credit line on top of that as well. So that's basically how that works. Okay, so you should be in business for at least a year, 10,000 in revenue to qualify. And again, lenders with this program are typically going to want to see a little bit better credit than 620, about a 580 or about than a 580, about a 620 score to be able to get approved for the actual credit line. Now, don't forget, this is going to be easier to qualify for than the actual loan itself. Okay, because the loan itself is easy to qualify for. This is more difficult to qualify. So you're going to have to come in and meet requirements a little bit more stringent to get the credit line. To get the loans, a piece of cake as long as you have responsible revenue. Artificial intelligence credit lines. Okay, so this is basically where you can come in and you can basically use artificial intelligence to actually be able to come in and get approved. Okay, that's what artificial intelligence credit lines are. Now, what do I mean by artificial intelligence? Well, in our world, in the lending world, what this is now meaning that you can come in and not have to provide all this documentation. So there's this idea, there's this concept with loans that you're going to be able to come in and be able to get loans and need all this documentation to get approved, right? That's what we're used to. But the problem is that we still have to provide a bunch of documentation to get approved. Well, nowadays with artificial intelligence, we actually are able to come in and issue instant approvals. They're able to, instead of getting, for example, your bank statements, they're able to come in and tap right into your bank's bank account and be able to get the information without you actually needing to supply bank statements. That's what this is. So they plug into your bank account to determine approval, and you can get a line of credit up to about 150 grand. Okay, that's exactly how it actually works. So now that being said, this is a really cool way to go because again, you don't have to provide documentation at all. What they're basically doing is they're just plugging right into your bank account. And then because of that, they can approve you with responsible bank management up to 150 grand. There's no credit check required for some sources. Others require a 620 FICO. So we have one of these credit lines. We've got it. It is about $100,000 is the actual credit line itself. So the credit line's 100,000, and we ended up getting approved for 6 grand to begin with. No financials, no credit check. Then they gave us 30. Then we proved ourselves and got up to 100. Now, to get up to 100, we did supply tax returns, but whether you want to or not is your choice. The bottom line is it's a simple, easy credit approval or a credit line you can get, even with no credit check with smaller amounts. When you want larger amounts, then they may do a credit check with your permission, of course, or they may actually come in and they may actually then be ask you for tax returns for more money. Now you got to have at least 3 months in business of good bank account management. Again, the problem is that they are actually able to come in, get a quick approval same day within hours typically because they're using automated artificial intelligence. They're using technology to determine approval. It's not manually underwritten. And all they're really looking for is reasonable bank account management. How much money you get, right? Kind of equivalent to how much money you got going through your bank account, right? I mean, they're going to look at how much money you have, and that's how much they determine how much money to lend you. They also don't want to see you overdrawing the account and non-sufficient funds and all those types of things. So that being said, what it comes down to is it really comes down to you're able to get approved very quickly for large amounts of money without actually having to meet all the requirements you have to meet with a lot of other loans and credit lines that are out there. PayPal and Square approvals. Get approved through PayPal and Square for an easy to qualify for loan, okay? So no consumer credit check required with a lot of their loans. Okay, so this is a huge advantage. You're able to actually come in and get approved with absolutely no credit check. Okay, so that being said, that is a great way to go because you're able to not have an inquiry on your credit report. Look, I'm really big on getting financing without a credit check, and here's why. You will learn maybe later. Maybe if I have time, I'll go into it. One of the best products I've ever seen for startups. It's unsecured financing, credit lines up to 150 grand. You can get it with no doc. You don't need collateral. The problem with that kind of program is it looks at inquiries really aggressively. Like if you have 6 inquiries in the last 6 months, you can't get approved. So one inquiry can cost you $20,000, $30,000 worth of actual financing. So the problem is that you really need to make sure that you limit the amount of inquiries on your credit report. In a world in business financing where one inquiry can cost you tens of thousands of dollars, you need to only give your credit when you have to give your credit. And that's why I'm talking about a lot of options here that have no credit checks, like the credit line up to 150 grand, because hey, no credit check means you can save the inquiry to get more money through other different ways. So no consumer credit check required is a really, really, really big deal when we start looking at this and we come in and we realize that these inquiries are worth so much money. Plus, you can get a loan up to 30% of your deposit. So this looks very similar to revenue lending and merchant cash advances, right? The only difference is they're looking at the money going through your PayPal account. They're looking at the money going through your Square account. So what that means is it means they're going to give you 30% of the deposits you have going through those accounts. That's a really big deal, because when we talk about revenue lending or merchant advances, which we just talked about, with revenue lending and with merchant advances, what they're typically going to do is only give you about 10% of your deposits, a third as much as Square and PayPal. So my advice to people is always, look, you should come in and have a Square account, have a PayPal account on top of your primary merchant account. Okay, because by doing so, that's what gives you the ability to come in and get 3 times as much as you would get through normal banks. And they have simple fixed fees. So it's super cheap. Okay. That being said, this is super cheap money that you're able to get if you can actually be able to come in and have your money going through these accounts. So if you're just getting started with PayPal and Square, or just getting started in business, get an account set up with PayPal and Square. Run some of your transactions through there, because these are fantastic ways to be able to get money easily without credit checks. And the payback is just basically through a percentage of your actual transactions with them. Okay, so securities financing. Get financing regardless of personal credit using stocks or bonds or a 401k. Okay, so way securities financing basically works is you're able to come in and you're basically able to use stocks, bonds, 401ks as collateral to be able and qualify for financing. You can use a guarantor instead. Okay, so if you don't have these things, then you can use the assets of a guarantor to actually be able to qualify instead. So why do I tell you this? Because the statistics are that 75% of business owners use money from family and friends to be able to build their business. Well, look, it's easier for you to go to grandpa or dad and say, Dad, look, I want to start a business. I need 5 grand. Can I use your stocks or your bonds as collateral to qualify? It'll only ever cost you anything and be a negative if I default. You can help oversee. Here's the safeguards we'll put in place to make sure that doesn't happen. Okay. So again, doing that will really, really, really give you the ability to not only access your own stocks, your own bonds, your own 401k, if you have those things, but even if you don't have those things, you then at least have the ability to come in and be able to use somebody else's assets to get those things done. And then that'll at least give you the ability to come in and be able to qualify for financing, even if you don't have those type of things that you may actually need. Now, you can borrow up to 90% of the value of stocks. So you're able to actually come in and get up to 90% of the stock value or 100% of the value of the 401k. Now, I should say 100% of the 401k that's rollable, meaning it's not currently with an employer. Now, you can still earn interest on the investments. The rates of 5% and lower. So super cheap loan or credit line, your choice. And again, another one here that I want to mention are inventory credit lines. So a lot of people don't know this, but you can actually use inventory that you have to get credit lines, or get credit lines just to get inventory. And what's nice about this is what I call the 3 C's of lending: cash flow, credit, or collateral. One of those 3 is always most important. We talked about revenue lending. We talked about artificial intelligence credit lines. Those are looking at cash flow. These are all looking at collateral. The nice thing about this 3 C's formula is you only need one of the C's, cash flow, credit, or collateral, to get money. If you don't have any, I'll show you later what we'll do and still get you money. In this case, all you need is collateral. When you have the one, you don't need the other 2, which means with any of these, credit doesn't matter. Okay, they don't even do credit checks in a lot of cases. And your cash flow doesn't matter. All that matters is collateral. You just need the one strength of collateral. And if you have the one strength of collateral, then that's what you actually need to be able to come in and successfully obtain this kind of financing. So business credit cards. Most credit card companies offer business credit cards, including Capital One, Chase, American Express. We're all familiar with these kind of business credit cards. These have rates similar to consumer credit cards and limits that are also somewhat similar. And again, some report to the consumer reporting agency, some report to the business bureaus. You got to be careful here. Whenever I get a credit card offer I'm interested in applying for, I always call and ask them, hey, who's this report to? Now, sometimes I get somebody that gives me an answer, doesn't know, stalls before, and I know they probably don't have a very good idea of what they're talking about. And then in other cases, I talk to people that actually know exactly what's going on. So I had a PNC Bank application the other day, and I called him. I said, hey, look, I want to know who this reports to. He said, we pull Experian Consumer for the qualification, and we report to Experian and D&B Commercial. Okay, you know what's up. You know exactly what I'm looking for. He even gave me the benefit of telling me the consumer bureau that they pull for approval. So I always ask when I'm getting a business credit card from any bank or anything I get in the mail, who do you report to? If they report to the consumer reporting agencies, my advice for you is to not go with them. You need to ignore them. And here's why. Because consumer reporting utilization is 30% of your score. So if you let these credit cards report on your consumer credit reports, then the problem that you're ultimately going to have is you're going to have a scenario where you're going to use those cards and lower your personal scores, which is not what we want. So again, approval requirements are similar to consumer credit cards as well. Here's the program I was talking about where you can get up to 150 grand even as a startup. So this is something we call unsecured business financing. Now with this, you're working with a financing source that specializes in getting you unsecured credit lines, right? That is what they actually do, is they get you unsecured credit lines. Okay, now this is very rare. A lot of people don't know about it. It's probably one of the most hidden gems that I see in the business lending space. And the way that it works is you can basically get about 5 to 8 times the amount of your current high credit limit than what you'll get on your own. Because again, those inquiries can cost you so much money, though in this case, what the finance source is doing is they know this is all they do is work with these kind of credit cards. They go out, they look at your scenario, they get you with the 5 to 8 of the highest value cards they're going to get you, highest limit, most points, only report to the business reporting agencies, and they do it all in one shot. Boom, 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 boom. So they know who to go through, they know how to get you approved, and they do it in a way that the inquiries won't affect the other lenders. Now, if you went into Bank of America today and then went into Chase tomorrow, you couldn't do this because when they start to see those inquiries, they'll deny you. But again, this is a really nice solution because you're able to come in and you're able to get approved and be able to do it even as a startup, and you're able to do it regardless of your actual cash flow or without collateral. So individual approvals are 2 grand to 50 grand is what we see. 0% financing for 6 to 18 months. Again, one of the absolute brilliant reasons that it makes sense for startups, because as a startup, you're trying to keep your payments as low as you possibly can to make sure that you can start making money to pay back what you need to pay back, right? That's the whole idea here. Okay, so in this, what you're really looking at is getting 0% and give you time to be able to build the revenue and get it paid back. But even if you're not a startup, 0%, 0% is still a good thing. And these accounts are reporting to the business reporting agency. So what's cool about this is you can get up to 150 grand and you can build your business credit at exactly the same time. So it's a really big deal. Now, multiple lines create and help you get limit increases. So since they're getting you 5 to 8 different accounts, what happens is these guys start competing against each other, raising your limits even faster. You've probably seen this before. If you've ever had good consumer credit, you had Walmart give you a credit limit raise, and then boom, Target follows weeks later. Because they know that, look, if I got a $5,000 line of credit, well, probably not. I'm not going to buy that much at Target. If I have a $1,000 credit line at Target and a $200 credit line at Walmart, I'm probably going to go to Target because I have access to more credit there. Credit issuers know that. So when they see other creditor issues on your report, they try to stay one of your highest limit accounts because those are the ones you use the most. You get that. I get that. I don't know what you carry in your wallet. I only carry a business credit card, a consumer credit card, and then I carry like a backup. And my cards all have the highest limits because, like, why not? Like, if I'm going to carry a card, I might as well as carry the highest limit card I can possibly carry. I mean, that just makes perfect sense. So this is why competition helps you, because as you come in and as you're actually coming in and getting more cards, then the more cards are what then will lead to you getting even more approvals from more sources. So approvals up to 150 grand in total, and you can take the cash out. These are credit lines. So by that, I mean you can actually take the cash out of the actual lines. Now, this is really interesting because think about what I'm saying to you here. What I'm telling you is that you can take cash out and get 0% financing. That's insane. These are like a hybrid where the only place that you're able to actually do this is you're able to come in and get the best of both worlds of credit cards and credit lines. You get the benefit of 0% for 6 to 18 months, and then you also get the added benefit of being able to access be able to take the cash out just like you can on credit lines. So a lot of big benefits there, right? That's why I love this program as much as I do. You need a 680 FICO score or better for approval, but you can also use a guarantor. So if you got a family member, friend, somebody else that may sign for you, you're in here. So a lot of options. You may have somebody that wants to be a partner in your business. You want to be somebody that you use them as a guarantor in exchange for equity in the business. Okay. There's a lot of ways to do this. But again, if you're one of the 75% of people that's going to family and friends to get money, well, this is really going to be a huge benefit to you because again, you can go to grandpa, dad and say, I don't need you. Let me use your credit to get these credit cards. They report to the business reporting agencies. They won't adversely affect your score. It only adversely affects you if I stop paying and work out a deal where you basically pay through them so they actually know that you're going to pay, for example. So there's a lot of different ways to do that, but guarantors in any scenario really help make it easier for you to get money. You got to have 30% utilization on your credit cards overall, your individual limits and your other limits, your individual limits and your overall limits, all need to make sure that you have that. You need to come in and you need to make sure that you have the utilization of 30% or less on overall and individual. You need to have 6 inquiries in the last 6 months. And again, this is something else that we talked about, right? So you're able to come in and make sure that you can get approved as long as you have low inquiries. Now, consumer credit card programs easier to qualify. You can do the exact same thing, same benefits, consumer reporting and not business reporting, and it's a little bit more lenient, like 50-60% utilization and like 8 to 10 inquiries. So if you're close, they may offer you consumer cards instead of the actual business cards. Okay, that may be what they actually end up having you do. You know, if that's the case, that's up to you. But again, it doesn't put in inquiries on your credit report to see if you can qualify, and then they can at least give you an idea of what you may qualify for. So here's a case study where a client got actually $61,000 in that kind of financing. Again, didn't have cash flow, didn't have credit, didn't have those other kind of things that they needed, but they were still able to come in and still able to actually succeed and be able to get money for the business, which is pretty cool. So next we come in and we look at unsecured business credit. So business credit is credit in a business name. So this is when we talk about actual credit without a personal guarantee, credit without personal credit checks. How do you do those kind of things? Well, that's exactly what unsecured business credit is, commercial credit. When done properly, business credit can be obtained with no personal credit check and no personal guarantee. Okay, so now there's 3 different types of business credit cards that you're basically going to be able to obtain. One that's called vendor credit, which offers net 20 terms, net 30 terms, net 45 terms, those type of things, okay? And so what that will let you do is this will give you credit to start an initial business credit profile and score. These are credit issuers who will give you credit when you absolutely have none. They don't look at your personal credit, and they're perfect to help you start building your initial business credit reports and scores. Okay, that's exactly what this kind of credit is. Then you get into what's called store credit, retail credit. This is credit that you're going to find with most major retailers that are out there. Okay, that's what this kind of credit is. So with this kind of credit, you're getting Amazon, you're getting BP, you're getting all those type of cards. You're also getting or you're getting Amazon, you're getting Target, you're getting Walmart, you're getting Sam's Club. Okay, those are all the kind of credit that you're able to get in this stage. Then you get into cash credit, you get into fleet credit. Now, cash credit actually gives you access to Visa cards, MasterCards, stuff like that. Fleet credit is where you actually come in and get like auto vehicle financing and repairs and stuff like that. That's when you're actually getting that kind of financing where you're able to do like fuel and stuff like that. That might not mean anything to you. But again, it matters to a lot of people because that is where you're able to come in, for example, as a truck driver and actually get access to credit that you can use to be able to fuel vehicles and stuff like that. So that really matters a lot when you're especially dealing with a fleet of vehicles. That really becomes a really, really, really important type of credit. These can all be obtained with no personal credit check and without personal guarantees. And limits are often 5 to 10,000 to start, can exceed 50 grand. We see a lot of limits start at about 20 grand as well. Here's some actual approvals from clients. So here's somebody showing off all these cards, no PG on all these cards. So Shell, Texaco, Staples, Home Depot, Lowe's, Exxon. And I got, and here's another win. Actually, let me see if I can do this real quick. I'm having a problem with my presentation. So let me see if I can fix this real quick so you can see what it is. So you saw these approvals here. Let me see if I can scroll down and delete this image because this image is preventing me from showing you anything else. So let me see. I'm having internet problems today, so excuse me if my internet is a little slow. Okay, so here's some actual credit cards. So business credit is the only financial solution you can get regardless of cash flow credit or collateral. So we've talked about cash flow credit and collateral a lot today. We talked about the importance of getting cash flow credit and collateral or having one of those three to get money. But what if you don't have cash flow credit or collateral? We are, again, if that's the case, then that's when you're actually coming in and that's when you're actually getting access to business credit. That's when you can still get 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 limit accounts, regardless of credit, cash flow, or cash flow or collateral. This means any business can get it. So even if you are just starting your business and your credit is bad and you don't have collateral and you don't have revenue, you don't have any of these things we talked about, you're still able to come in and get these kind of approvals, right? So here's somebody that with their 10th account, no PG, $4,000 gas card. Here's a Staples business credit card here. Here's JCPenney, Uline. Here's somebody that just got 6,000 Amazon, 10,000 Apple, 12,500 with Apple, $8,500 worth of credit, $1,000 Office Depot, just opened a new Net 30 account to start, Exxon for $2 grand, $17,000 Amazon approval here. Here's a JCPenney account here. Again, here's BP. So what we're seeing is you can see that these are all people just like you that didn't know anything about business credit, didn't know much about any of this till they came to really a lot of them this webinar. And then we're able to come in and get these kind of training so they can come in and get $4,000 account here. Here's a $4,000 account here, another $4,000 account. These are all different approvals. Quill, Uline, Seton, Amazon, No PG, Walmart, Amex Blue. Here's all the accounts that they're getting. Here's somebody who just got $50,000 credit line with Pilot, Flying J, for example. So they're doing a lot of different lending options right now. Pilot Flying J is being very aggressive with their actual reporting right now, or with the amount of credit they're giving. Quill, here's a net 55. Here's another $4,000 approval here. Here's a $1,600 approval. Here's an Exxon approval. Here's an American Express card, for example, with $9,000. And again, these are people that are just like you that didn't know these things until they came in and got the training and were able to come in and realize that, hey, look, you can actually succeed if you follow the set steps. Here's another approval for 7,200 and an Amex for 20 grand. So this is what credit looks like. You can see here, no PG. That means no personal guarantee. That means they didn't provide a personal guarantee. In a lot of cases, in most of these cases, they didn't even provide a social security number as well. So it really comes in and it really makes it nice because you're able to come in and get all this kind of credit even when you can't get financing. And again, here's another $50,000 approval, Dell, another one here. I can go on and on. Look, I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of those kind of approvals. So a lot of reasons you probably want to consider business credit. First, it gives you greater borrowing ability. When you have both consumer and commercial credit, you can get twice as much credit. You can get a Staples, Home Depot, Lowe's for you personally, and you can get also all those exact same things. You're able to come in and also be able to get on the business side. So it gives you double the borrowing ability because, again, you're able to come in and basically get approved and get financing and get credit for both your business and personally. The limits are much higher though. Per SBA, limits on business credit accounts are 10 to 100 times higher than consumer. So if you're used to seeing $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 approvals, In our world, you might as well as make that 10, 20, 30, $40,000 approvals, because again, that's just kind of the way that it works out. In the commercial world, these limits are so much higher, then that's what you're actually getting, is limits much higher than what you get with consumer credit cards. And you can get approved even when you can't get a bank loan or alternative financing, even as a startup. You can also give you access to loans and credit lines. So look, if you're going to go get money for your business, you're naive if you don't think they're pulling your business credit to make the lending decision. If you've ever seen my training where we do credit report reviews, the credit reports even say how much money you should be lent. It's like a cheat sheet for lenders. Lenders see your score to see how much your rate should be, and then they see like how much money you should even be lent or credit you should be issued. Your credit reports say that. So if you're even going to think of coming in and actually getting money for the business, you really need to make sure that you're focusing on doing this, on that you're focusing on coming in and making sure that you get business credit, because again, a large part of what you're doing is going to be based on your ability to do this. It's going to be based on your business credit quality. Is going to determine how much money you'll get, the rates and terms you'll pay, and if you'll get approved or not. Business credit also, you can get business credit as long as you have a business in the United States. I don't care if you live in Canada. If you have a United States business, then you can, an entity here in the US, then you can get business credit. You don't have to even be a citizen to do that. You can build business credit for multiple businesses. You can get business credit even as a nonprofit. You don't have to buy bogus trade lines or shelf corps and pay thousands of dollars on all this crazy stuff that people try to convince you that you must do. You don't even need to do any of that stuff to be able to get approved. You just have to follow a set series of steps. So business credit quality, again, determines if you'll get approved, how much you'll get approved for, the terms you'll pay. But here's the problem. The problem is if you really want money, well, business credit can also get you denied easily, because you could be given a failing business credit score even when you have absolutely no business credit. Okay, so that's the problem. You can be given a failing business credit score even when you have no business credit established. And I'll show you what that looks like on actual reports. So here's somebody that has zeros all across the board. As you can see, this is a snapshot from their actual Experian business credit report. You can see here that their score is 28 and they're being recommended for $1,000 worth of credit. Now, on a scale of 0 to 100, 100 being the best, 28 is not good. It's considered medium to high risk is what this is actually considered to be. So you can come in, you can see here, this is the financial stability score. It's about a high risk as you can get. Now, financial stability literally depicts your risk of going bankrupt. So here's somebody that has no credit, and even because they have no credit, they're issued a failing score. Way different than consumer credit world, right? Consumer credit world, like you got to screw up and do something bad to get bad credit. Not in our world. In the business world, the fact that you have no credit automatically by default makes you higher risk. So that is the problem. You know, you want to make sure that you build business credit because you can be issued a failing score even if you have none. Now, on the same time, even one account can take you from bad credit to good. So here's somebody that added a packaging account on the actual credit report you can see right here. And that one account took them to a 96 score. The credit limit recommendation raised as well. You can see they're extremely low risk because of one account reporting. Here's what's interesting. You actually see they went through the exact same thing that the other person that we just looked at went through. They were a 28 too. They added the one account and shot up all the way up into the 90s. So how do they do that? Because your credit's based on how many account, or based on how you pay your bills. So what happened was, at first we looked at somebody that had no bills to pay, so they were high risk because they had no credit. Then we were able to actually come in here and see somebody that had one bill paid, and because they had one bill paid, they were actually able to come in and establish a good payment history that took them all the way from bad to good. Okay, so that being said, that's what it looks like. Now, as you continue to grow the credit, it continues to get more and more. So we talked about how it can determine whether you get approved or not. And then we also can come in and take a look at what happens if you get more credit. The more credit you get, then the easier it is to get more and more credit with higher and higher limits. So here's what this comes down to. Okay, what happens is a lot of people think that time in business and revenue has to do with business credit approvals. It doesn't really. Here's the secret that credit issuers aren't going to tell you. It's based on the number of trade lines you have reported. You have somebody that, you show me somebody that's been in business 6 months and somebody that's got $10,000 a year in revenue and has 14 trade lines, and I'll show you somebody that can get $20,000, $30,000 individual credit limits all day long, because it's the number of trade lines that really control this. Here, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So here's the first one we looked at, 28 score, $1,000 recommendation of credit. We then looked at this one account reported, $2,500, 96 score, right? That's what we looked at then. Then let's look at some others. Here's somebody with $6,900 worth of credit, and they only have 2 accounts reporting on their business credit report. So here's somebody that's able to come in and only have 2 accounts, and it's all the way being recommended for nearly $7,000 in credit. Here's somebody with almost $16,000 recommendation with credit, okay, and they only have 3 accounts reporting. Here's somebody with 66,000 recommendation of credit, 1, 2, 3, 4 accounts reporting. Here's somebody with $724,000 in recommendation for credit, and they have 15 accounts reporting. So what happens is the more accounts we see get added to business credit reports, the higher the recommendation of credit oftentimes is. So what that means is it means the more credit you build, the more that the loans and the credit lines and the credit cards, the more the limits on those accounts increase as well, as you've just seen firsthand from real business credit reports. So can this work for you? Well, again, as I talked about, it's the only solution that can work for any business, okay, even startups. So when we talk about that, what's interesting to know is that every one of the most largely successful companies in this country has exactly what I'm talking to you about. Here's Facebook. They have 40 trade lines, 40 accounts reporting. Here's Dell with 83. Here's Microsoft, 131. Apple with 138. Pilot, 153. Publix, 171. Walmart, 513 trades. So I like to tell the story a lot because a lot of people don't know this. What's interesting about this is that Walmart, the biggest source of money they have is business credit. They have more money that they spend with business credit than they have in shareholder value in their company. That's insane. Okay. 80% of what they buy, they use buying business credit. It's pretty brilliant, really, if you look at it, because ultimately what they're basically doing is they're basically using the business credit they get to buy what they put on the shelves and using your money to buy and pay off the credit. It is actually really super, super, super smart. So what I'm saying is they're basically coming in and saying, okay, Bounty, we're going to buy those paper towels. We're going to buy them on credit. They take your money as you buy the paper towels. And then what they do is they use your money to pay back the credit. So that's how they actually have got to be the #1 retailer in the world. Here's Mars Incorporated. They make Mars bars, 22 trades. But here's what's interesting. Here's a buddy that just started building business credit, has 8 trade lines, has a third as many as Mars Incorporated, and they just started their business. Here's another one of our clients that's got 14 trade lines, 70% as many as Mars Incorporated has, right? So they're able to come in and they're able to basically come in and get as many trade lines as Mars Incorporated has in less than an actual year. So again, it comes down to really anybody can build business credit if you know the steps. And here's a little bit into their story. Went to our bank to get a business line of credit. They turned us down. We started with Credit Suite, set up our business credibly, and built our business credit. After following the steps, we've now secured over 96 grand in business credit cards and just applied for the Platinum American Express and got approved instantly with no limit. Now we have 4 to 5 different companies call us every day trying to give us money, and that's a really good problem to have. We're excited, and if you don't have business credit yet, you should get involved with Credit Suite. So their story is pretty awesome. They basically had no money. They took the money they had. They sold a pickup truck and a flat screen TV, got $1,200, used it for a marketing campaign, and the marketing campaign, they ripped them off. The company ripped them off, took their money. They had no money. They had limited funds. So they figured out business credit could help them. They got to us. We helped them. We found one thing inaccurate with their Secretary of State records, which I'll tell you about later. We fixed that. Then they were able to get loans. The same banks that denied them approved them with one thing fixed, and I'll tell you about that later. And now they're able to come in. They're massive success. They've got 800,000, I think, in revolving credit. It's like crazy, and they go around the country and help other people do exactly the same thing. They help other people come in and accomplish the same success that they've accomplished, which is pretty cool. So here's one of our clients, Christine. Here's her actual approval so you can get an idea of what's actually possible with business credit. Sprint, 2 grand, Amazon, 4,500, Tractor Supply and Exxon are both 5 grand, Fuelman for 6 grand. You can see there's 7 grand for BJ's, which is a cash credit card. That's a Visa card, MasterCard that you can use anywhere. And then you're able to come in and she was able to get an $8,000 BP account. She's able to come in and get 10 grand at Lowe's, Lowe's, 12.5 at Apple, 15 grand at Shell, and then also able to come in and get 15 at Sears, 15 at Office Depot, 20 at Costco, 40 at Best Buy, 40 at Dell, 40 at Ford. Actually, that now got raised. She now got approved at 120 at Ford. A roofing company, 75. PNC, 100. She now got 150 at PNC, 200. These are some of her approvals. She's now up to about 900,000 in approval. Here's some accounts on her report. This is her listing some of the ones for a new business she opened that she just got. Here's a little bit more about Christine and her story. Pretty interesting. She's done a lot of really cool things, and it's really been interesting to be able to watch her journey. And you're able to see some of that credit here. 84,000 reported on this one report. You can see 80,000 on another business credit report. You can see here as a 10,000 approval that she got. Here's some of her business credit cards saying this. It says again, so it can be done. For those of you that say business credit without a PG is not possible, these are just a few quote unquote of my cards. This does not include what I'm waiting to be shipped or nor what I have on my other business as well. So it can be done, but yes, you have to eventually sometimes do a PG where down the line, but a good majority if you follow Ty Crandall's program. So she's chosen to get 150,000 credit lines with the PG. So sometimes you have that option if you want that. 10,000 Flagstar approval, 12,000 PNC approval, $50,000 Amex approval, 24 Amex approval, 10 BOA approval, 15,000 Citi approval, Chase approval for 22, 10 from Chase, 8 from Inc., 50 from Amex, another 50 from Amex. So guys, this is what business credit really does. This is how it works. Now, beyond options we talked about today, you have angel investors, you have crowdfunding, these kind of options, you have grants, so plenty of other options that we haven't really had a chance to dive into that could work for you as well. And now, it looks like we have time, I still have about 30 minutes left. So if you're okay with it, and I'm going to ask, and let me get myself situated over here with all my stuff I got going on my screen. I have like a million things opened over here on my screen. But if you're okay with it, what I'd like to do is actually show you how our clients are getting financing and credit now. How Christine actually was able to come in and get how much credit, how the samples were able to get so much credit. If you're okay in the comments, just type in the word yes if you still have time and you're still cool if I actually show you how everybody's getting the exact results they're getting. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. I want to be okay. I got it. Everybody's saying yes. Okay. And the reason I ask is because you're entrepreneurs and I want to be aware of your time. So I don't want to come in and do anything that's not in the best interest of your time. But I think showing you how they actually got approvals really makes a big impact because it goes from theory to actual real results. So what I'm showing you right now is something we call our finance suite. And this basically is the only system in the world that does two things. It gives you the ability to build business credit step-by-step for your EIN that's not linked to your personal social security number. And then it also gives you the ability to get loans and credit lines and all different kind of financing as well. Basically, you don't need to look for money anymore. It comes complete with finance officers and business advisors to help you through the process. It's pretty cool. I think it's something that you enjoy. But let me dive into the topic at hand. So when we talk about building business credit, there's a series of steps you're going to want to follow. Now, here, if you come to build my business credit and open up the business credit builder, you'll see that we have it broke down into 7 steps. And the 7 steps are build your business credibility. We help you get your reports. Well, we'll talk through each one of these steps. Let's just look through them all. Okay, so step 1, what we're basically doing is building your business credibility. Here's what you need to know about loans and credit lines. All lenders and credit issuers have a secret set of criteria you must meet to get approved. You meet the criteria, you get approved automatically. You don't, you get denied. You've been there, I've been there. We've seen it both ways, probably. You get the credit card with the immediate approval. You get the dreaded message that says you'll hear by mail in 7 to 10 days, and that never ends up well for us, does it? So what you want to do is get automated approvals. But to get automated approvals, you have to understand what these computers are looking for. We know they're computers making decisions. So how do we get the computer what it wants so it gets us what we want, which is the approval? Well, this has to do with credibility. How you set up your business name, your business address, your business entity, all these type of things matter. Now, to not go through every sub-step of this, you'll see that for a couple things. First of all, the finance suite, you can easily do this from English to Spanish. You can change it from English to Spanish and changes all the wording instantaneously, immediately, even puts Spanish overlays here. The other thing is that you can move through this very quickly. If you already have your business name set up, for example, well, then you can click, yes, I have my business name, and then boom, you move right on to the next step. Or you can click no, and you can come here and learn more, and you can actually access all kinds of information. You could search the Secretary of State records to see if that name's available. You could view restricted industries. If you choose the wrong name for your business that indicates you're in a restricted industry, well, then you could easily get denied for credit financing. So what are those restricted industries? Right here, we list the ones that are impossible to get approved with and the ones that are just more difficult, so you know how to choose it. You can go through short videos, 4 minutes, 48 seconds, that talk to you about choosing a business name the right way, what lenders and credit issuers are actually looking at, what their computers are checking against your business name to make sure you can even get approved. Same with address. We help you set up every aspect here. So your business address, if you use a PO box or a UPS address, you'll oftentimes get denied loans and credit lines and credit cards. Most people don't even know you can't build business credit with PO boxes or UPS addresses. They think UPS addresses are safe. They're not. Here, we help you get your address set up. We help you set up the entity the right way to limit your liability. You need to make sure that you do this. Get a corporation, get an LLC. You need to get a phone number set up. You need to get a fax number. It needs to be toll free. You need to get it listed with 411. You can't go to 411.com and list your own phone number. That's not even 411. We use a service called List Yourself. I'll tell you that. They're awesome. We love it. They're $30 a month is how much they'll charge you to do what they do for us, which is take our clients and get them reported in 411 immediately where the person doesn't have to wait. Why is this important? Initial credit issuers look to see if you have a 411 listing, to even see if you have a legitimate, credible business setup, period. And if you don't, they don't approve you. This is one of the underlying reasons people get denied. They just don't know why. So we help you do that. You don't even have to pay for it. We help you set up your website and email and get your EIN, your licenses. We teach you about your business bank score and what you need to know to get bank references, merchant account. So that's the first step, is setting up the business credibly. Okay, we help you go through every aspect of your business and set up credibly. Remember I told you the samples, we changed one thing, and the one thing immediately got them into the bank with approval? Let me tell you what it was. And this is crazy, but it's also one of the biggest reasons loans get denied. It still blows my mind. Their name was off. The name they put on the application for the loan was different from what was in the Secretary of State records. That's it. One thing, once we did this, we do 7 verification checks of your address. We cross-check it against the same data that the actual lenders use, right? They use LexisNexis. They use Small Business Financial Exchange. These are the places they're getting their data. So we're tapping into the same places they're getting their data, and then we're able to cross-check your data against it and make sure that what you're using on applications is the same as what the lenders are going to see. Believe it or not, the #1 reason loans are denied. The information on the application that goes to the bank isn't exactly match up with what they're finding online in places with the Secretary of State. We fixed that one thing with the samples. It immediately took them from denials to approval. And believe it or not, about 85% of the customers we help have a name discrepancy. The name they're using is different than the name that the lenders are pulling online. So this is the kind of things that we're walking through in step 1 to make sure that you're set up credibly. Now in step 2, what we're actually doing here is helping you get access to set up your business credit reports. So for example, with Dun & Bradstreet, the very first step is to get your DUNS number set up. Okay, and I won't even dive into that, but the very first step is to get your DUNS number set up with Dun & Bradstreet. You've got to get a BIN number, a business identification number with Experian. It's the first step to getting set up. Dun & Bradstreet can charge you up to $2,000 for the DUNS number. We help you through the finance suite, and you don't have to pay anything to do it. One click, we help you go through and get set up with Experian, Equifax, and D&B without having to pay them any money to get set up and to activate your credit profiles. Okay, again, D&B can charge you $2,000 to get your DUNS and activate your credit profile. It's all part of the finance. You don't have to actually pay for that. But if you're not using it and you're doing it on your own, you need to get your BIN number from Experian. You need to get your DUNS from D&B. You need to probably expect they're going to try to charge you for those type of things. You're going to have to deal with some high pressure sales tactics. Just know those things are coming on, but you want to do a free search with D&B, Equifax, Experian just to see if anything's reporting on your business now. You need to do that check. And when you click through here, you're able to come through, do a quick check, and then you're able to see if you're actually set up with Experian now, if you're actually set up with Equifax, if you're set up with Dun & Bradstreet, to see if you have that failing credit score or not. So then that way you'll know what you're starting with, and you'll be able to get set up and get the right numbers with all the reporting agencies. Now, once you've done this, the next step is to start building real credit. And the next thing we do is expose you to vendors that will help you build business credit, even if you have none now. You can get shirts, you can get phones, you can get furniture, you can get SEO, and I have this zoomed in, which is why it's a little off. You can get website design. I mean, we have more vendors than anywhere else you're going to find. And here's what's cool. Every one of them lists the actual underwriting guidelines for the source. So you're able to come in and you can just see here from this basic information, we can see it reports to Dun & Bradstreet. We can see the term is net 30. We can see the description of the product. We can see the qualifications to get approved. Look, what our finance suite does quite simply is this. It takes years of business credit building and it condenses it to only months. It's what it does. So how do we take years and condense it to months? Simple. Difficult. Difficult, but we make it simple. One, we tell you the exact underwriting requirements for every source before you apply. Doesn't that make sense? Why would you apply for a loan or a credit card if you don't know that you meet exactly the requirements to get approved? We formulated relationships with the underwriters of every single one of these sources, so we can then know the exact requirements to get approved and tell them to you so you're only applying for accounts that you know you can get approved for. Beyond that, we're also graying out all the ones you can't get, and in orange here, we put the ones you can get approved for. So that's the second safeguard. Again, the third safeguard, you've already kind of seen. We list these out. We come in and break these down step by step. And the fourth safeguard we use is we tell you with every account exactly how many accounts you need reporting to even get to the next step. So with phone services, with t-shirts, with all the stuff you can buy, you can easily get the handful of accounts that you really need to get reported to then move to the next step, which is to start monitoring your business credit reports. Look, when it comes to building business credit, once you get these initial accounts reporting, the next thing you need to do is you need to monitor your business credit reports. Okay, and you're going to get set up and to do this through Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian. Now, we teach you how to read their actual reports. So we actually come in here and do you have D&B monitoring? Enter your username and password. Okay, no? Well, then learn more. We'll teach you how to set it up. Here you go. You get your DUNS, you get your credit monitoring set up. It's $159 a month through D&B. It's $50 through Experian. It's $210 a month to set them up. Or you can log in or you can set up the credit reports. Also in step 4, we help you read them. We help you go through videos to understand how to read these actual reports. They have 5 scores on them, for example. Now here's what's really cool. As part of our finance suite, we partnered, this is our NAV integration. And with NAV, you actually can access your Experian credit reports. You can see your scores. You can see your stats, your business information. Here's that BIN number we talked about. We helped you get your business identification number, factors influencing score, summary, DBT, day beyond terms, all your public records. This is Pixar, just so you know. This is a real credit report. It's Pixar. I can show you this because business credit reports are public. So you need to be aware of that. Your prospects, your clients, your partners, everybody can actually access your business credit reports, just like I'm looking at Pixar's right now. Pixar, pay your bills, your score's low. Okay, Dun & Bradstreet too. Score, accounts, public filings. You can set up alerts when things change. So what's nice about this is that you can access all of the information through D&B and Experian through this integration, and it's only $24 a month. So again, you know, I'll tell you how to get it for $24 a month here in a few minutes before we wrap up at 6:30. But again, what it comes down to is that you're going to spend $210 a month with Experian and D&B directly with them. Or if you come right over to build your business credit and access your client or your dashboard, then you're able to come in and get it for only $24. And I'll show you exactly how that works in a minute. Now, once you've got these accounts, once those vendors start to report, well, let's have some fun. Now we start to move on to real revolving sources. Now I grade some out in my system so you can see I don't have what it looks like when I don't have the trades to qualify. It's not pretty, but I want to show you so you can clearly see the difference between qualifying and not qualifying. So if I have 6 accounts, I can now come in and start getting credited pretty much anywhere I want. Wawa, Ryder, right? 7-Eleven, places you've heard of, or maybe not. Meijer. Used to shop at Meijer when I lived in Ohio and I was in the Air Force. You know, don't shop there now because they don't have it down in Florida. Okay, Amazon, Staples, Valvoline, AutoZone. So again, what happens is you start to build credit and we start to move through these tiers, and you're able to come in and get more and more and more credit, right? And as we progress through the steps, that's what we see. Royal Farms, Platt, Spinks, and Shell, Office Depot, Home Depot, here's Walmart, here's Amazon, here's Lowe's. And again, just like I showed you, we list the underwriting guidelines for every single one of these sources as well. So you can see exactly what it is. Sears, Sinclair Gas, BP, Conoco. I mean, almost every kind of major credit you can think about is available here. Almost every major retailer or store out there offers revolving credit without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check. You can see here, what it looks like in color when you can meet their criteria, and we grade out when you can't. It just helps simplify the process and helps you take years of business credit building and condense it down to only months. Okay. And then again, you're able to get auto vehicle financing here as well. So you're able to come in and get auto vehicle financing here in the final step as well, even without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check. So you're able to come in and get auto vehicle financing. And Dell, you're able to start getting Visa cards and MasterCards, as you can see here. We added American Express in here. We got a PNC Bank in here, Sam's Club. So this is where you're able to start getting cash cards, Visa cards, MasterCards, all those type of things you're able to get as well. So as you can see, Finance Suite just simplifies this whole process. It's just step by step, help you set up your business credibly, help you establish and get set up with the reporting agencies initially, help you get initial credit, which is the hardest to find. And by the way, the reason you saw so many vendors was because we create them. We make our own. We go to people that have really good services that our businesses owners would really benefit from. We help them get the ability to report through Experian, DME, and Equifax, which is very hard to do. Then we add them to our suite. They don't publicize it. You won't find them in forums and in groups. Most people don't even know they exist because we created them. That's why we have so many sources for our clients, because we're able to add all these sources and help them get the ability to report. Now, we also through here help you qualify for a lot of the financing as well. So we help you get equipment financing and that unsecured financing program we talked about. We talked about revenue lending and artificial intelligence credit lines and 401k, real estate, private equity. Again, you're helped through this process through business advisors and finance officers. But again, maybe you want to work with us, maybe you don't. If you don't, that's okay. My goal is that you walk away with a bunch of knowledge that can still help you at least make it easier to do this on your own. This is just nice because you never need to worry about money. Our finance officers help you through every step of the process, negotiate, they do all the work for you, get the money in your bank account at the best terms. And again, we have full support, email, chat, and we're reaching out to you as well. So with our business credit building, for example, we'll reach out to you 5 times in the first 5 days just to help you through this process, just to make sure that you get through hopefully step 1 and 2 quickly, and then start building business credit just as quick in step 3. So you have access to all financing too, based on those strengths that we talked about. And if you did have any kind of interest, you can even offer business credit and financing as a service too. So we have a partner program where you can come in and you can access all these resources, emails, ebooks, webinars, everything you could possibly think of to be able to actually be able to build your business. And then we give you the step-by-step training. So here's step-by-step training on selling the finance suite, and me, knowing what the team does, what you need to know about financing, what you need to know is great. A lot of you might not want to sell this, but if you did want that option, this is the only white label program out there where you can actually offer business credit and financing as a service. And you can also come in and check the valuation of your business at any time as well. So when you come into the business valuation feature that we have, you basically just enter some numbers that reflect your business, how much you're earning, basically it just really comes down to answering these questions. Once you answer these questions, then what you'll start to see right here at the top right is we start to get an estimate of what your actual value is. Okay, so that's actually how that will work. And what's nice about that is you can keep an idea of what the value of your business is at any time you want to through the finance suite, just by coming here and clicking on business valuation. So will that work for you? Will it not work for you? I don't know, but I wanted to at least show you how our customers are getting their results. And here's one more of our clients now, Marlon. And you can see here where Marlon's come in, and this is what he has to say. I was looking for a fast way to get money to grow my consumer credit business. After failing to get approved for loans with several banks, I discovered Credit Suite. After getting initial vendor credit accounts, I continued applying, getting all types of credit. Now have over 100 business credit cards in my wallet, totaling over $1 million in total available credit. I have fleet credit that I use for auto repairs and fuels. I have cash credit with most major banks, including Bank of America, Wells Fargo. I secured almost all this credit without a personal credit check, without a personal guarantee, and I've been able to get loans with many sources, including PayPal, Cabbage as well. Marlon also goes around the country and speaks about business credit as a partner, as well as a lot of our clients basically end up doing in the end. Okay, so the ultimate solution. Look, you're watching this webinar on your computer, phone, or tablet because you want the easiest and fastest way to get money and credit to grow. You probably have already struggled to get the money and credit you need and have yet to find a simple solution. And don't forget, those of you that are hanging out here, you will get a playback of this webinar when we wrap up. So we will probably tomorrow we'll get you a playback for everybody that attends to the end. And the other thing is, again, I'm going to stick around and answer questions that you have as well. So I'm going to stick around. I know you had a lot of comments and questions. I will stick around. Give me 10, 15 minutes, and I will make sure that I stick around to get your questions answered. So look, with this system, you're getting business credit for your business that's not linked to your social through basically the top selling business credit system that's out there today. Okay, and you're getting access to funding for your business to start and grow. You're doing it in English and in Spanish. Okay, you're getting our cutting edge technology, which helps you meet credibility standards before you apply, where you're setting up your business name, your EIN, you're setting up your address, your 411, you're setting up your website, you're setting up your email addressing, your listings online, your license. For example, little things like all of your listings online need to be the same. What's on Yelp needs to be the same thing it's on Bing. You don't think it matters? You know D&B takes data from Yelp, Bing, even Facebook to populate on your reports. It's crazy. This is why we've got to make sure that all this stuff matches, that you're in compliance. We're setting you up with all 3 reporting agencies, and you're not having to pay extra money to D&B to do it. And we're activating your credit profile. We're setting up your DUNS number. We're setting up your BIN number with Experian, all without them charging you the money they typically charge you to do it. We're even fixing inaccuracies. And I didn't even get a chance to show you this, which maybe during the Q&A, I'll show you the part where in one click, we even help you fix inaccuracies. So you can fix your business credit with the system as well. Largest supply of starter vendors, including these exclusive sources we talked about to start building business credit. Massive selection of revolving store credit, okay, cards, hard to find cash credit, the Visa cards, the MasterCards that you actually need to be able to get to grow the business, because you can't just build it with a Staples card. You need these other cards, auto vehicle financing, cash flow financing options we talked about today, asset financing options we talked about today, 0% financing options we talked about today, up to 150 grand, private money, okay, alternative, SBA, venture capital, term loans, lines of credit. All of these things are available through the actual finance suite, which is really cool. Okay, cash flow financing options with no consumer credit requirements. I just showed you all that. Plus, if you are coming in and you're thinking about our partner program, we're giving you all the training. We're giving you sales scripts. We're giving you a website, press releases, and 12 months of emails and social media posts and ebooks, and basically everything you need to know, you need to be able to run a successful business offering business credit and financing, you're getting as part of our partner program as well. So with our partner program, you also get articles, Spanish marketing, finance marketing to market the finance products. And by the way, as a partner, you even get the ability to bring in sales team members, hire sales team, train sales team members. There's special sections for that, special resources for that, all of that. So it makes it really easy for you to run your own business, whether it be a primary or secondary business offering business credit financing. So look, if this makes sense, if you're looking to get started, if you look at this and go, look, it makes sense. I could follow these steps and build my own business credit, but it would take me years. It takes you months, and I get the difference between what that time can save me, and it makes sense. Well, then I want to give you a chance, since you hung out with me for an hour and a half, to get started and get a bunch of really cool bonuses as well. So if you look at our website right now, you'll see our top plan with payments is about over $7 grand. That's how much it is to work with us with our ultimate plan. Now, what I'm going to show you is only valid for this webinar, but it's valid through this Friday. I'm not expecting you to make a quick decision. We'll even follow up with you by phone. So it's valid through this Friday, and you've got a couple different options. Option 1, you get business credit loans with our core program. This is where you're not a partner. You're not offering it as a product. You're not offering it as a service. You just go, dude, I want money. 7 payments of $497 or 1 payment of $24.97. Let's do some math. It's $24 a month through our system to monitor your business credit. It's $210 a month direct with D&B and Experian. So that means that you're going to save $2,200 the first year on credit monitoring alone with us, and it's $2,500 to get started. Not to mention the fact that you're getting our system, our advisors. We're giving you the 411 listing that you don't even have to pay for. You're getting thousands of dollars of business valuations that you don't have to pay for. So a lot of the stuff that you're paying for, you don't have to pay for. So ultimately, it's even cheaper to use this option than to try to do it on your own. Payments won't work for you? Tell us. Let us work with you. We can't help you if you don't communicate, but we will work out custom payments if you do. If you want to be a partner, well, then you can offer it as a service and get it for yourself at 7 payments of $597 or only 1 payment of $34.97. So what I'm doing here is giving you guys a discount, which we rarely ever do because we have something that's completely unique. And you're also going to get some bonuses as well. Now, keep in mind, it's typically going to take you about 18 to 24 months to do this on your own. Okay, with what you can do with us in 6 months. In our world, you get vendor credit right away within the first week. You start to get store retail credit in about 60 days total. And about a month to 2 months after that, you get to the final stage of cash credit. Total process takes 4 to 6 months, whereas easily on your own, it's going to take you 18 to 24. So how much can that extra 18 months with limited access to money cost you? That's what you got to think about. And you're going to be paying thousands more. You're going to pay $2,200 a year more on monitoring. You're going to spend an extra couple grand to pay Dun and Bradstreet. You're going to pay $400 a year, $360 a year for your 411. Valuations are thousands of dollars. So when you add it up, we've actually found a way to get it to you and make it more affordable than even doing it on your own. We will customize a payment plan for you, okay? We work with some services like Fundbox Pay that will let you string it out over longer payments and give you even more affordable payments. We work with loans that we can help you get the money to enroll as well. So don't let those things be barriers, and you get full access to everything with your first payment. So what we're saying is we'll let you pay over 7 or 8 months. We'll give you our advisors, our finance suite, everything right away. Because what that does is it shifts the risk to us. So you're getting everything, even with one payment, and then we're basically taking on the risk. If you pay, you don't pay, right? We are that sure that you're going to love it. So let's look at the easy enrollment form. So if you're going to creditsuite.com/webinar, that will actually take you exactly where you can go. So if you wanted to get started, you go to creditsuite.com/webinar. You can see this is getting it for your business. This is getting it for your business and doing it on your own. You can see the discount. You can see the bonuses. You click buy it now. It's going to have you enter an email. Once you enter the email, then you're in. I'm having all kinds of server issues today, or sometimes it doesn't. There you go. It takes you right to payment. Sometimes they'll take you to an email. Sometimes, as you can see, it takes you right to the payment. You can see the payments I promised you. You can see the discounted price I promised you. It's that simple to actually get going. Okay. And once you complete the order, you immediately get your login. You immediately get access. Now, there's a lot more I want to talk about as well. So we're going to give you 30 minutes of initial coaching call with our advising team. I also told you that I would tell you later how to get that credit monitoring. I'm going to throw that in as part of this webinar. It's not something that we do for everybody. And by the way, I will say it. We are testing a brand new product starting in 2 weeks. No, I'm not going to do it. We're testing a brand new products in the next couple of weeks that it will, I think, be an industry changer that will give you the ability to possibly add items to your business credit reports as well, with Experian and with Credit Safe. So it's going to be a beta. So I don't know, you might want to be in on the beta or not. Our first beta was successful. We were able to see these things added. So these are the type of things that you're getting access to alongside of these huge discount with credit monitoring and working with us. Bonus valuation. So not only are you going to get access to ongoing valuations, but you're going to get a full business valuation with 29-page report, which usually is like $1,000. If you go directly to get business valuations from the source, it's free as well. And I'm giving you a ready published book. It's my book. You can go to Amazon, find my book. I basically give it to you in a format that you can make it your own book. Why? Because if you know anything about credibility, you'll know that having a book and being a published author gives you a ton of it. I want you to be credible, especially if you're going to be an entrepreneur. So that's going to help you do so. And if you get started and you don't feel that what you receive is worth every penny of what you paid, or that you'll be able to make the money back with our partner program, then within 30 days, we'll give you 100% of your money back. That's simple. Guys, look, this is really easy. We do not want to work with you unless you're serious. I can't say it another way. This is a process. Yes, we take 2 years and condense it to 6 months, but you have to go through the process, and we will work with you and help you. But if you get in and realize this isn't for you, even though you've seen everything, then we're done. We're out. Here's your money. Go on your way. How do you know that we do that? Look at our reputation. Just do any research into our reputation at all. You can do a quick search or just simply come right into our website, creditsuite.com, and at creditsuite.com, click on credibility. You can see here's actual approvals. You know, I showed you some of the actual approvals. Here's a bunch more. There are well over 100 approvals here. You can see, you don't think this is possible. Look right here. This will show you Visa cards, MasterCards, 15,000 approval here, 15,000 approval, fleet approval, 12,000 PNC approval. Which ones haven't I showed you? Or Exxon, there's a 16,000 Inc. I mean, most of these are ones I never even showed you. I can go on and on and on. So you can see the actual real proof that this works. And again, you don't just have to see these, you can click and see the full image. So you can see the full image with them holding their credit cards and what they're actually getting. Okay, you're able to come in here and look at our actual reviews. Look at Trustpilot. We don't hide it. What Trustpilot, what you see is real reviews. So these are all real reviews, 2, 3, 4, 5-star reviews. These aren't just people giving us stars, okay? This is people leaving detailed comments. These aren't people from years ago. These are people from Wednesday, right? So, or the 4th, this one was 2 weeks ago. So these are all recent. You can see all the information, see what others are actually saying about us. Come in here, go to So Tell Us. You can look at So Tell Us as well. These are all people that are leaving real reviews, and you can see what they're saying. You can see the stars. You can see all that. You can also come in here, look at testimonials, and you can also even come in and see our BBB. We've never had a complaint with the BBB. We're A+. And we've never had a complaint in the lifetime of our business with the BBB, okay? On top of that, you can see how we're covered in the press as well. So you can see here that Entrepreneur Inc. magazine, all of this is all press coverage. This is all exposure to us, and you can look at that a little bit deeper. And then check out our testimonials as well. We don't just give you these lame, quotes from people. We give you the actual videos. Every one of these testimonials, you can click and read their testimonial and actually see a video. So if you have doubts about our credibility, well, then look at that too. I think that's going to help you. So to recap, you're getting your own finance suite. It's mobile friendly. You can use it on all mobile devices, 24/7 access. Concierge business advising services, where we'll work with you, help reach out to you, help coach you through the process. Free DUNS number and BIN number from Experian without paying the money to get it. Okay. We're also giving the largest supply of starter vendors, massive selection of revolving store and retail credit, the unsecured credit that we talked about, finance officers, 411 listing, cash credit sources. We're helping you fix inaccuracies on your business credit report. We're helping you get fleet credit, all without a personal credit check, without a personal guarantee, auto vehicle financing. We're helping you save $2,200 a year on credit monitoring. It's worth $2,500 retail. Your cost to monitor your business credit's less than $300. So it saves you $2,200 a year, which is awesome. Cash flow financing rates at 2%. I just laugh because, guys, you save $2,200 on credit monitoring. It's $2,500 to get started. You move into year 2, it starts costing you money to build business credit on your own, not including 411, everything else. With our partner program, you're getting everything you need to offer business credit financing as a service. All the training, the videos, the ebooks, the flyers, the everything you need to run your own business. Like a business, it's like a franchise without the franchise fee. And we're also giving you the 4 bonuses: 30-minute setup call with our team, $24 a month for business credit monitoring, the valuation for $1,000, ready to publish book, and we give you a guarantee that you don't want it. 30 days, you got more time to check it out. 30 days, you'll probably have had 10 phone calls with our advisors. You'll have already been able to get through step 1, 2, and 3. And if at that point, like, you don't think it's good for you, well, then you tell us and we give you the money back. Like I said, don't think that we won't do it, because if we didn't give people their money back, you'd probably see complaints. The fact that we have none, and we've helped 15,000 people and no client has ever complained, kind of gives you an indication that people like what we have. And if they don't, then we part ways as friends. So that being said, creditsuite.com/webinar is where you go. I just completely got away from my last slide and it is now completely frozen. So let me see if I can get that back. So creditsuite.com, that is not working for me. It's not even letting me. creditsuite.com/webinar is where you'll go to get started. I am going to jump in and answer questions. Let me, as I'm doing so, try to fix my PowerPoint presentation, because it is, like I said, I'm having all kinds of internet issues today. So it's not even opening, but it is creditsuite.com/webinar. And I will try to get my PowerPoint issue fixed. Okay, how do we attend your event? And we had talked about that. Will the slides and the notes on them be available afterwards, so I can, and having to take notes? All of our partners get access to our slides. And so because they get access to our slides, we don't typically give those away. But yeah, absolutely. If you're enrolling in our partner program, this presentation and many others, you will already be able to access in your back office. If not, it's one of those things where we don't typically give that out to anybody that's not a client or partner, because that's one of the exclusive benefits that our clients get by being actual clients. So hopefully that helps your question. Lost audio, can't hear you. Hope you're back now. How do you get companies to send you a printed credit application, since the online electronics require? You don't. You just basically download it from their website. If you have the back links from them, you can get it. So, like, for example, if I go to Staples or Office Depots, and what the question being asked to everybody is, look, how do I get around not giving a personal guarantee in a social if they ask for the social online on the application? Well, the answer is you call them to apply. which is what I sometimes do. I did that when we got our Home Depot or Staples, or on Home Depot and Apple's or Staples back link, the link to their real business credit accounts, they give you paper applications you can print as well. So that's the answer. If you have the correct link to their actual backend source, they're right there to download the app. You can call them, and if you talk to enough people and ask, they can help you with that as well. Okay, some audio issue. Okay, just Greg Brisk just reached 11 trade lines. Congratulations, Greg. You're really close to getting cash credit, so that's awesome. Sound stopped. Hopefully that was resolved. It looks like a few of you had issues. I'm trying to take a drink of water real quick. Greg, approved for Lowe's, AR, Office Depot. You're killing it, man. Good job. Michael, I've got a UPS box for my business address. Can I change it to my home address, and will that help me create credit? My opinion, you need to get a virtual address. That's going to be better. They're now actually putting street views of your business on your business credit report. So if you don't want a picture of your house on your business credit report, try a virtual address first. These are the type of things our advisors will help you with. But you're better. Here's the order, Michael. Number one, use a real physical address if you can. Be in a real location. Number two, use a virtual address if you can't. Third option is that you can come in and use a home address, and the never go-to option is the UPS PO box. So I'd try virtual before you go home. Hopefully that answers your question. You can get a DMB number for free. You absolutely can. You can get the DUNS number for free. You can search free DUNS number. You can go to creditsuite.com/DUNS to get your free DUNS number. But what you need to know is that when you start talking to Dun & Bradstreet, is they're going to try to charge you $1,500 to $2,000 to get your DUNS number and to activate your credit profile, and a package that includes other things, but that mainly included, meaning that you have the ability to actually come in. Excuse me, I think my voice is giving out on me. Which I guess it's better that happens at the end than it does at the beginning. But they would, as you know, Jason, as well as I do, that they try to call and sell you a package for $1,500 to $2,000, which includes the DUNS activation of the credit profile and other things. They'll also tell you that you can't activate your credit profile without them. That's what we're helping you do in step 3, is get the accounts to activate that account. Charlie, this is great. What's the cost? Okay, so you already know that, and you already paid DMB $1,500, and that's funny because here's an example of that. So Charlie already paid DMB $2,500. Look, I already went over what our investment is, and you should look at how long ago you gave them that money. And then what I'd like to see, Charlie, is give me some feedback. Did you think it was worth the money they charged you? Because I'm finding that a lot of people are paying $1,500 to $2,000 only to build credit on their DMB credit profile, and then they don't even get any accounts added, and they still don't have experience at Equifax. Let me know if that's the experience that you had. I need a customized plan. No problem. Terrence, look, we will work with you on payments. We understand that our payment plans will not work for everybody. Do not start with us due to payments. Okay, we will work with you on payments. So we can't help you if you don't communicate. Give us a call, send us an email. We will work out a custom payment plan that will make sense. What's needed? Nothing. Just give us a call. That's all that's needed to do a custom payment plan. Home Depot, commercial. Awesome, man. You're killing it, Greg, on these trade lines. This seems too good to be true to some degree. Well, it depends on what you're talking about. I mean, look, Randall, the way I explain it is this. We didn't invent business credit. I mean, look, business credit has been around. DMB's been around since the 1800s. They were around years, decades before consumer credit even came up. Okay, every one of the largest companies that exist has this. What we've done is take a very difficult, hard to understand process that was typically only being tapped into by medium and big businesses. We broke it down and put it into a software that mapped it out step by step and simplified it for small business owners that don't have CFOs and all these financial savvy people, and then just gave you the exact steps to do. But again, during the time that we've spent together, I've given you over 100 examples of this actually working, from people actually physically showing you the cards, to snapshots of their actual credit reports, to actually looks of what they're actually, how many accounts they have reported on their credit reports, to the actual approvals they get in the mail. We've gone through about 150 real approvals, and there's another 150 or so probably on our website that you can look at that I think will help give you some more faith. But again, like I say, we don't, didn't invent business credit building. We just simplified it and made it easier for everybody to actually be able to access. And hopefully our reputation kind of proves that we say that we're going to do what we're going to do. We've been around we first started this in 2012, became our own entity in 2014, and we never had a complaint. So I think that speaks wonders to what we do. But look, try it out. If it's not everything we say it is, we give you your money back. It's really that simple. Question, does this apply to those who are independent contractors with an EIN? If you have an EIN, you could build business credit, but you need to get an entity, Kim, because if you don't, then people come after the EIN, they come after you. You have to create a layer of separation just to protect yourself somewhat legally. How well would this program work with an insurance broker? It works great with any industry, but I'll tell you what, LeBron, if you have an insurance agency, we've got a great funding product called Book of Business Financing, and that can actually help you get financing as an actual insurance agent or money to buy an insurance agency. Just so you know, really low rates, long terms. But again, business credit can work for anybody. Is there a program available to purchase partially financed commercial real estate? Yes, there absolutely is. But it's not high loan to values, but we work with a lot of commercial lenders that deal with real estate loans. And typically, you're going to need 10, 25% down to be considered. But yeah, we work with all those kind of programs. And by the way, we can help you use other financing to get the money you need to put down on the commercial real estate. The beautiful thing about having a solution like we have that works with all legitimate funding programs and over 1,000 lenders is that we can get you more money. So we oftentimes will get you money for different purposes. And like, for example, get you the money you need to put down from one program and then get you a loan program for another. We do that with a lot. I helped one of my friends actually come in that's opening a doctor's practice. We helped her get equipment financing to buy the equipment she needed. Then we helped her get unsecured financing to put the down payment down on the equipment financing. So that's the nice thing about being able to have access to multiple funding programs. I just filed a personal Chapter 7. I'm sorry to hear that, but it is a problem with loans unless they don't pull your credit check, and we've got some of those options, but it's not a problem for business credit because they don't look at your business credit. I want to join. I already have a business name, EIN, and registered in my state. Those are the basics. That's perfect, but let us help you at the stage. Make sure your name is set up the right way. Make sure it's registered the right way. Make sure that what you're doing is done the right way moving forward, and we can definitely help you through the process we are. How do you get an EIN? Can you explain that? Yeah, go to irs.gov. You can either type in how to get free EIN or just go to irs.gov and you'll be able to find a place there to get your EIN for free. Even if you call, do you just say you don't want to give your social and you only want to use your tax ID? Mark, gets a little tough. Nowadays, in May, they released a law that now for money laundering purposes, the big banks require a social security number for identification purposes. It's required by the government now, your date of birth and social. The bank has to fill out a form and send it to the IRS with this information, or to the IRS, to the government with this information. So now if you're getting a credit card that's issued by a major bank, they may ask for your social for that purpose. So you just got to make sure if you ever give them the social that you're letting them know you're not giving the authority to attach a personal guarantee or credit check, then they cannot pull your personal credit. But yeah, you always want to try and don't tell them you do not even want to supply your social. You want to apply with your business standing on its own without the personal guarantee. That's what's going to be important, is the personal guarantee. Is a virtual address illegal? No, virtual addresses are completely legal. Dun and Bradstreet, you can type in virtual address Dun and Bradstreet and see Dun and Bradstreet talks about them in their site. Guys, all a virtual address is, and just so you know who offers them, Regis and Alliance are the two biggest. They've been around since the 80s, 70s. So they've been around 40, 50 years. What they basically do is they own big commercial buildings. And what they do is they rent out the building. They rent out the offices in the building. Some of the offices have people that physically, that is their office. Some of them just come and go and they pay less money. Some of them just rent the actual address itself. So virtual addresses are completely legal. You can look them up, Federal Trade Commission, all those guys. There's nothing illegal. What you don't want to do is get shelf corporations. What you don't want to do is get CPN numbers. That's the kind of stuff that really puts you into borderline illegal actions. Virtual addresses are more than legal. Also, I've done awesome. Where do we find the alternative payment options? Just get in touch with us. Our website's going to give you the monthly payment option and the one pay option. If you need something that's customized, I can't create order forms that let you customize your own payment. So you have to get in touch with us by calling us, 877-600-2487, info@creditsuite.com. We'll talk to you about what you can afford, and we'll put together an option for you. I'm thinking of starting a credit repair business. Is that a restricted industry? Yes, it is. For lending, you can still get money, but it's more difficult. We help a lot of credit repair companies get money because a lot of credit repair companies use us. They're a partner. They're partners with us, right? They sell business credit to their customers. So we helped a lot of people get business credit. It's not impossible, or uh, credit repair companies get financing. It's not impossible, but it is tougher. And the reason for that is because credit repair is considered financial services. So am I. Just so you know, Khalid, you and I are like in the same boat there. We're both high financial services, so we're considered high risk. One of your clients on your site, Cobalt, was listed. Maybe so. I don't know. One of your clients on your site, Cobalt, was listed as a ripoff via re-up-off report, which is credit. Why is Credit Suite showing as a client? I don't know, because they are. Look, we're going to show everybody on there that's a testimonial, and rip-off report really is not the best place to go for credibility, because just so you understand how rip-off report works, they take any information that's given to them as form of a complaint, they publish it, even if it's true, even if it can completely be proven to be untrue. Then what they do is they charge the company that had the complaint against them to pay them money to be able to hide the complaint. It's the most unethical process I've ever seen. So I don't know. I mean, look, we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of case studies, results, testimonials on our website of people that have used our service. They're all entrepreneurs. I would imagine if you look into the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of testimonials, complaints, results, that probably many of them have some sort of complaint or not against them. That's just not something that we would prevent them from being a testimonial or a case study because they had that happen. Okay, set up a partner program with you. Both have multiple businesses. Okay, so Millicent, thank you for watching. He says, we have multiple businesses. Will we have to pay each time we develop a separate business? No. What you should do is this. You should use the finance suite the way that you're actually using it. Okay, so you want to actually come in and use the finance suite to be able to come through and build business credit. Okay, like you have. And then once you go through the process, just like everybody I showed you a testimonial for, you're going to end up following the same steps for another business. All of our highly successful clients do. You heard the samples. You heard Marlon. We talked about Christine. Every one of them has opened 2 or 3 businesses now and used the steps we taught them to build business credit for their own businesses. So you don't need to pay each time. You can only enter one company's info into the suite at a time and have it saved. But if you follow the steps for multiple businesses, many people you can do that. Is there a way that I can check my EIN credit score today for free? You can give us a call or send us an email. We'll get you a safe credit report. I can't promise today because it's about 6 o'clock Eastern, but my team might be available to get you access to an Experian credit report at no charge, just so you know. Charlie's giving us feedback about his experience with D&B, and he summed it up in one word: awful, and then summed it up with 4 words: D&B is a pain. Charlie, sounds like you're having the same experience. I'm really sorry you got caught up and paid him $1,500, buddy. I wish I could have got to you before that happened. But just so you know, a lot of people have that same thing happen. So can you help set up an LLC from beginning to end? Yes. What's nice about our finance suite, as you saw, is that we walk you through the steps from beginning to end, right? We walk you through every single step in the process. And by helping you do so, we are then able to help you set up a business or check your business if you're already established. How do I chat? You can't chat today because our team's gone. It's 7 o'clock Eastern. So our chat team isn't there. You'll have to leave a message. But if you get in the morning past 9 a.m., you will be able to chat with our team right on there as well. I operate under numerous entities. Travis, that sounds so like secret. How can I determine which entity will be the most advantageous to proceed with? Our team could help you with that. But as a non-client, there's probably multiple factors I'd look at. Which one has the most seasoning? And does the one have the most seasoning fit the credibility bill right off the bat? Do you have a name that indicates you're in a high-risk business or not? Do you have multiple businesses generate? I mean, there's too many variables. I can't even tell you here. Which business is generating revenue? How long have they been open? There's just too many variables. Give us a call. Let us talk through that scenario with you, because there's a lot of variables here. How much revenue does the businesses have? How many trade lines, if any, do the businesses have? How long have they been open for? What's the name? Are they in? Names indicate they're in high risk. All those would be factors that we would tie in to make that determination. I've been up on you for well over a year. Well, why haven't you got started? I wish I got forward and would already be there. Dang, I know. Don, that's something common, in a year. If a year's passed, you could already be up to a point where you're getting hundreds of thousands of business credit. And that's what you guys have to look at, is that, look, work with us or don't. But if you don't work with this, you're still going to pay. Go to my YouTube channel. I've got hundreds of videos that'll teach you how to do this. The problem is you're going to spend years, because when you have questions, you don't have people to go to get answers. And you're going to run into bumps, hiccups. You don't have anybody to help you. Then you go to forums. Then you go to our Facebook group, right? Our Facebook group has 15,000 people, over 1,000 people engage every day. Then you've got other uninformed people educating other uninformed people with bad information, and the thing really becomes a mess. What's nice is that, again, you said it, Don, if you would have got started a year ago, you'd already have hundreds of thousands of business credit, already 100,000 plus in business credit. What could you have done with that money? Where would you be now? That's really the question to ask, because the money, not having the money, typically is going to hold you back. And that's something we can help you do. And now all of a sudden you invest a little bit of money, or maybe a lot of money, depending on how much 2,500 is to you, to get it started. But then when that starts netting you $2, $5, $10,000 limit credit cards, then it makes it much easier to grow the business, and you can grow it a lot faster. Exactly. Been at it over 1 year, line of credit added. D&B, they don't get the info correct, and spending 1 hour a week working on D&B for over a year and barely making headway, and it's cost me well over the amount you're charging. I do have Amex business credit cards on my own, Bank of America credit cards on my own. Of course, they still aren't even reporting D&B. Charlie, I'm really sorry to hear that you're having a hard time, man. We invented what we invented to make it easier for people like you to succeed. It's just a really difficult process to navigate on your own, even if you have paid a company like D&B, because they don't offer you the support. That's why our program is not cheap. Look, we are the most expensive in the business credit space. We're also the best. That's why we charge. The reason that we are more expensive, and there's not a lot of companies out there, there's only 2 or 3, and if you look at their complaints, they're numerous, and here's why. We found that people really struggle to do this on their own. When they have advisors and educated people that can help them, then they succeed really quickly. But without a step-by-step system and without people to talk to help, unfortunately, Charlie, what you're describing sometimes happen. I'm interested for a startup and becoming a partner, but payment plan adds on much money as opposed to lump sum. Yeah, it absolutely does. And we are absolutely charging you more money to pay payments than pay one pay. It's called a finance charge. We are heavily and aggressively motivating people that pay one pay versus pay monthly payments. And if you're coming in as a partner and you pay one pay, you also get a bunch of extra incentives paying one pay as well. That's why if you have a credit card, you're better to put it off there and pay less finance charges than with us. But again, Jason, just get in touch with us. Let's see what we can get together to figure it out to make it work for you. Does the program work faster for people who already have Visa and MasterCard business credit cards? Mark, depends on how many, it depends on if they're reported on your business reports. It works faster if you already have accounts reporting on your business reports. Remember, the whole goal here is to get you to 14 plus trade lines. So how many trade lines do you have? That's what expedites. If you already have 2, 3 reported, then that helps save you time. If not, not really. Okay, and Charlie's still talking about the process. Exhausting. How much do I need to spend with vendors and other creditors to build my business credit? The answer is about $50 or less. Some of them, like Quill and Uline, have a 50, or actually Quill now has a $100 requirement you got to spend to have it reported. They're the only one that has that. Everybody else is basically doesn't have a minimum requirement you got to spend, or it's $50. Quill's the most expensive with 100, so not a lot. You could typically do it with $50 or less per vendor. What is your contact information? I have it right here on the slide, 877-600-2487. You can email us, info@creditsuite.com. D&B tried to get me to pay $800 because I'm a government contractor, and I told them Credit Suite has helped me more than you ever have. I've had to school my Bank of America small business banker who doesn't understand 7A or PG. Would you help with HubZone and 8A? Yeah, give us a call. Let's see what we can do to help you in those areas. But look, I understand. And guys, what you're talking about, do I have my email open? Where are these messages coming from? So I understand what you're going through. I mean, the problem is that in a lot of cases, people, the front end bankers, you can't even be mad at them, because the problem is they just don't even understand themselves. They really just don't even understand this process themselves. So as a result of that, they're just actually having a problem not being able to give you good information because they don't get it. Do you have a business in mind, or would any business work? And you guys give us some tips. Any business can work, but look, you need to have a business in mind. And I just did a great webinar today on YouTube. Of course, my opinion is a little biased because I'm calling it great. But what it really comes down to is that you ultimately want to make sure that you have a business set up, a business idea. You don't just want to randomly come in and you don't want to randomly come in and just pick a business that you think is going to make you the most money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. What you want to do is already have a business in mind. And again, I did a great webinar today on things you probably need to know. Do you help me with creating and holding companies? Yep, we can do that absolutely as well. We can absolutely do that. How does Fundbox work? Fundbox actually is they let you, they take the money, they go through your bank account, make sure that your bank account is that you're paying your bills as you should pay your bills. If you're paying your bills as you should pay your bills, excuse me, if you're managing your bank account as they want you to manage your bank account, then what happens is then you're in a position where you can easily come in and you can basically get financing, and they finance it over the course of like 12 months for that matter. That's exactly how that actually works. I'm gonna try to log out of this real quick here because I am having, like, I have all kinds of messages rolling in and I don't think it's going to stop. Okay, so I should be walking salesman for what to not to do and what clearly has been done. I'm the example you're talking about of. I'm sorry, man. I don't want to make an example of any of you. I wish I would have found all of you before you actually started to have the problems that you had. Okay, so it makes me hesitant to get help if you've helped scam artists. Is there a place? Okay, so to be clear, we have a customer, one of hundreds of people on our website, testimonials, results, etc. That person had a complaint filed on Ripoff Report. And what you are saying is that you are judging our credibility because one of the hundreds of clients that we have on our website, and that's like saying one of the 15,000 people we've helped has a complaint, and so it's being held against us. I don't understand that logic. It might not be a good fit for you to work with us, but I showed you, you could just simply search our name and find credibility. You could go directly to the Better Business Bureau. All our website does is give you links to Trustpilot, links to Better Business Bureau, links to where those places are. You can go to every one of those places direct online and do a search online to see as well. I already have most things for my business, like corporation DUNS, 800 phone number. What I'm interested in is the next step in cash credit lines without tax returns and the business credit monitoring. Well, the 5 trade lines isn't going to help you. In order to get the cash credit line or the cash credit cards with no PG, you need 14 trades. But if you want that, if you want the PG credit lines, well, just give us a call. We can help you with funding without enrolling. Just give us a ring or send us an email and we'll help you out. I'm just getting started. I'm a DBA, but I have my EIN. What about funding for product development? It's possible. You just need you could build business credit to get money, loans or credit lines. You need to have cash, credit, or collateral, one of those 3 to actually get a loan. One of my clients sells hair. Is there any way she can have her vendors report also get credit for her PayPal account? Yeah, we can help her with getting credit issuers that want to report get reported. Yeah, we can help with that. I saw the 30% on PayPal. It's linked to her SSN. I don't think PayPal is a PG, but it could be. I don't know. She sent me her DMB credit file, and she could be my first client. Yeah, work with our team. Whoever you came in with, Steve, Eric, whoever, let us help you onboard this client. We can definitely do so. Can I go to the SBA instead of the bank? No, you can't. SBA is just going to send you to a bank that will do the loan, is what's going to happen. As a partner, how much are you allowed to charge your clients? However much you want. With our partner program, what typically happens with our partner program is when you come in and become a partner, let me see if I still have any of our partner program stuff pulled up. So when you become a partner, we give you everything you need to succeed, to sell business credit. You determine the sales price. Typically, our partners are making the sale for $2,500 to $3,500. That's typically. Now, we just rolled out a brand new program called Premier Partner that's free for all of our partners. We do all the work for you. Like, we do all the sales process for you and just pay you a commission of $750 to $1,500 per sale. And we do every bit of the work for you. Okay. But that being said, how much can you charge? You can charge whatever you want to charge. Typically, partners are charging $2,500 to $3,500 typically. And just so you know, when it comes to partner training, we're going over this with you. When we get you into our partner training right here on how to sell, how to set it up, we teach you all these things. But you're typically selling it for 25 to 3,500 bucks. And then you're paying us 500 to 700 per finance suite, depending on if you buy them in bulk or you bought one at a time. So let's say you sell a friend of yours the finance suite. You sell it to him for 3,500 bucks. You pay 700 to us wholesale. We give them the technology, we give them the advisors, we give them all that stuff. And in that example, if you sold it for 3,500 bucks and paid 700, you make 2,800 in profit. If you sold it for 2,500, you make 18 in profit. You determine the sales price. 25, 3,500 is pretty typical. And then the wholesale cost is 700 bucks, and the difference is all your profit. So hopefully that helps. I'm using my home address. Should I change to a virtual? You should, if it's not a problem financially, virtual is better than home. I would. Now that they're putting these screenshots or these Google images of your business on your credit report, I would want my home on my credit report. That's just me. Is a security and investigation company considered high risk company? No, it's not. Are there consultants just for the trucking business? Look, trucking is one of the top 5 industries we help with. It's a no-brainer for you because you spend what, 500 to 1,000 to fill gas for your truck, and gas cards are numerous and many in our system. And yeah, we don't have consultants specifically for that industry, but I can tell you that that's one of the biggest industries that we service. So our advisors can absolutely help you without a doubt. If you have more than one company, do you have to pay per company? I answered that question. You can only enter one company into the finance suite at a time, but most of our customers most of our clients and partners go through this. They learn the step themselves. I have the wrong thing. I have multiple of these pulled up. They go through the process, the step-by-step process. They learn how to do all this on their own. And then once they know how to do it with our advisors, they do it with multiple businesses without paying. That's what I would advise you to do. Daycare is not considered high risk. Great presentation. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let me see here. Is a tax preparer business? Yes, you are, because they consider it financial services. They consider accounting to be the same way. Thank you, Ty. Can't wait to get started. Can't wait to work with you, Charlie. Thank you. Is this just a one-time pay even if you decide to do the business? It depends. And by that, I mean this. As a partner, you're only going to pay one pay, and then everything you see is yours. All the resources, everything you need is yours. There's one upgrade at this point for partner you could choose, and it is called executive. Executive is $99 a month. It's completely voluntary. It's not something you have to do. It's something you can do. That's what gives you the ability to get the sales rep set up, sales rep training. Is what gives you the ability to get paid on funding your customers get as well. You get paid 50% of the money we collect on funding. So that can sometimes be a $10,000 commission, sometimes be a $2,000, sometimes be anywhere in between. So and you get a bunch of extra resources here as executive as well. So you're actually getting access to a bunch of different partner resources. And I want to pull up a bunch of pages. Oh, a bunch of extra resources here too as well. So if you follow me at all, you'll know that I do webinars every single week and live streams. I take my presentations, make them into videos, and then what I basically do is put them right here into executive partner resources. I'm having server issues today on my computer, and I put them right here in executive partner resources. So you have access to my PowerPoints and videos before I even release them. But that's voluntary. So if you want to be executive, you could pay $99 a month for it, but it's completely up to you. I will tell you that one customer, a funding customer that we close a loan for, pays for a year and a half of you paying for executive, but I wouldn't do it unless you actually have customers to enroll, and we can talk to you more about that. Do you have any specials for retired Navy veterans? Yeah, give us a call. Veterans are really important to us because a lot of our team are veterans, myself included, and Gerald, thank you for your service. So give us a call and let us see what we can get put together for you. Does this program include help with apartment flipping? Yep, we even have program for that. We have a house reseller program to flip residential homes, and real estate investment, real estate agents, real estate investors, and trucking are all our top 5 industry. I have a tax preparer business for the last 4 years, and I did answer that question. Is SBA a good place to start looking for funding? They're the worst place to start looking for funding because you have to have good credit, cash flow, and collateral. If you miss this, go back to the beginning and the replay when you get it tomorrow. We talk about a lot of other options that could work better. Tamara, I paid DMB $1,500 basically to do nothing. I am very sorry that happened, and I wish I could have got to you before that happened. But yes, what you guys are paying D&B for is to add items to your D&B credit report that you already have. The problem is they won't let you add utilities. They won't let you add credit cards. They won't let you add bank credit. They won't let you add rent. So they're not going to let you add very much. Even if you did all that, you'd still only have accounts on your D&B credit profile. You'd still have to build Equifax and Experian. So yeah, you're still going to have to go through these same steps, unfortunately, because you haven't built Experian and Equifax. You get that, right? I mean, you can't only build your TransUnion consumer credit and not build Equifax and Experian, because you could never get mortgages, cars, the ones that look at 2 or 3 sources. Same problem there. You got to follow the same steps. With the program, is it a white label sale? Does the customer who works directly with you know your name? That's up to you. We currently have a white label program. Your branding, your logo, neutral emails, all those type of things, it's completely white label. We also have a premier partner where it's the opposite. You're using our name, our reputation, our system, our salesman to do all the work for you and just get paid the commission. So that's up to you. It's your choice. You either make a sale on your own and do it white label, or you can use the power of us and have us do it all and get the benefit of our reputation and not. So you have a choice. Is health and wellness companies high risk? No, it's not. Is real estate investing company considered high risk? Yes, it is. Anything in real estate is. Don't feel hurt by it. Mortgage brokers, real estate agents, real estate investing, it's all considered financial services. Should I close my Capital One Business Spark card since it's not on my commercial credit report? It more than likely is, but it also reports on your consumer credit as well. I have the same card. I rarely use it. That's what I do. I wouldn't close it. I would just leave it open and leave it as your last resort card. That's what I do, and I never really use it because I never need a last resort card. That's my best advice. But there's no real, that could actually damage your consumer credit now if you shut it down. So that's my advice. If you're the best, I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to working with you. I appreciate that. And I look forward to working with you too. Is web developer high risk? No, it's not. Is real estate investment high risk? Yes, it is. Thank you for answering most of my questions. No problem, Jason. That's what I'm here for. Very confused about partner options. What options do I have if I want to sell the service? Okay, so let me simplify this. If you go to creditsuite.com/webinar, there are 2 options. Core, you're building business credit and financing on your own. You're getting it to grow your business. VIP, everything in core, and you also get our partner program. So if you want our partner program, choose VIP. If you want to just enroll to get business credit financing for yourself, choose core. Hopefully, Patty, that provides clarification. If not, just let me know what else you might be stuck on and I'll help you. And don't forget, guys, our team will help you. I don't expect you just to see a webinar and just spend thousands of dollars, right? Our team will help you. Talk to our team. If you have questions you don't want answered here, maybe you're embarrassed to ask or whatever it may be, then ask our team. I'm only going to hang around here and answer so many questions, and then we're going to answer the rest through email and phone anyway. So just ask the question. Woohoo, Army Vet here. Thanks, man. Khalid, appreciate your service. Thanks. I look forward to working with you. Look forward to working with you as well. Is it answer that question? Sorry, I didn't hear that part of you mentioned cars like becoming an auto dealer finance company. Anthony, I don't think I understand your question. Ask me that again. So I know. And just so you guys know, I'm at 6:58 in regards to the last question left, 7:03. A lot of you are asking the same questions. I'm not ignoring you. I just haven't got to your question yet. Do you have a lead generation for partners? We buy houses. Yeah, we kind of do. We get you to a service called custommarketer.com. It's a friend of mine, Keith Knapp. He was one of our first partners. He understands our model really well. They help you with leads gen, and we have a lot of training on this. We do weekly private training for our partners that only our partners actually get exposed to. And that teaches you everything to do about lead gen. We teach you what we do. We show, hey, here's our Facebook ads. Here's our audiences. Here's the content we put in the ads. Here's the landing page. Here's everything. So we map out everything we do to advertise so you can have the same kind of success that we have. Is a web development, to answer that, real estate investment? Yeah, well, we can definitely help with the real estate investing. 50% of funding. So you help me get, it's not 50% of funding, it's 50% of what we get paid. So let me give you an example. Let's say we do a $100,000 loan for somebody. Let's say the lender pays us $5,000 as a fee on that loan. We take the $5,000, we split the fee with you that we get paid. Whatever we get paid, we just split down the middle. In that example, you get $2,500, we get $2,500. It's not 50% of funding amounts, whatever we get paid. The fees vary. How much we get paid varies based on loan product, lender, etc. But on our most common programs, we typically get about 3 to 4 percentage points on a deal. So 3 to 4 percentage points is 3 to 4 grand on 100 grand, and you get half of that, just to give you an idea. Will I be able to get credit as a real estate investor? Yeah, you absolutely can get business credit. We even have financing, like the unsecured credit lines and house flipping programs for that as well. I'm going to jump off chat. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad. I think you already did enroll as a VIP. I don't know. I'm talking to you. You just left. So I'm high risk real estate broker. Yeah, we can look. Look, guys. The reason that real estate's one of our top industries is because you're high risk. You can't go into a bank and get money. Most alternative lenders won't touch you. So what can we do for you? We can help you build business credit to get 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 Home Depot, Lowe's type credit cards, labor ready credit cards. This is all the money you're going to use to maintain the property or to rehab and flip the property. We help you get house reseller program. This is a funding program specifically for real estate flippers. Once you have some experience, it's a great program to get into. We can help you with unsecured financing. We can help you with a bunch of other possible loans and credit lines options that could work. And then of course you can also build business credit to get Visa, MasterCards, and cash out those cards to buy properties as well. So those are off the top of my head, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the different ways that we can help you get money as that. Would you be in my mastermind group? Also, can I get 4 Teslas financed for my church? Okay, it's possible. Yes. Auto vehicle financing is through GM, Ford, and Ally Financial. So it is possible you can get the vehicles financed. And I love Teslas, by the way. Using Ally Financial, you need 14 plus trades to do it. Will they do 4 at once? I don't know. I've never had that question asked, never seen, so I don't know if that can work. And I'm already in a mastermind. I really appreciate the opportunity. And you can send me information on it at info@creditsuite.com. But I have a mastermind group I've been part of for years. I have 2 masterminds, a big one and a small one, and I'm pretty comfortable there. But yeah, send me some information. If anything ever happens with one of mine, I appreciate the opportunity. I really do. Start up a business as a dealer or finance company. Not sure the proper term. Okay, so you want to start a business as a car dealer. I know someone in the private selling of vehicles would be a partner and become your own company. What business would it be? Like a finance company, I think you have to start with what your end goal is. Start up a business as a dealer or finance company. I know someone in the private selling of vehicles. So Anthony, what are you trying to get financing for? Well, just give us a call, man. Just give us a call. Let's talk through your scenario and see what we can do. 877-600-2487, info@creditsuite.com. I'm not understanding what you're saying, and you're trying, and I'm trying. So just give us a call. Let's talk through this and figure it out. Why on earth would you only get 3 to 4 points on funding with MCA lenders easily pay 15 points? Do you have an agreement for partners that spells out the commission cuts? We do. And the reason is, Patty, is because we don't charge our customers 15 points. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's people like BFS Capital down here in Florida. They'll charge 15 points on the back and 3 points on the front. We don't do that. We're not going to rake our customers over the coal and charge them a bunch just so you can make more or we can make more. It's just not how we do business. So what typically happens is when we're doing a merchant cash advance or revenue lending loan, in a lot of cases, we're under 5 points. Sometimes we might be at 10 points, but it doesn't matter what lenders let you make. What matters is what the customer can actually afford. And even though we can make 15 points or more in a deal, we choose not to. We choose not to rake our customers over the coal. If you're already in the financing space and that's what you want to do it. Charge your people 15 points and keep all the money, and then send us the financing customers you can't help and let us get them funding other sources. We just don't do that. We just don't charge our customers that much money, even if we can do it. And that's why they come back to us and get more and more and more loans. But yeah, we do have a commission schedule in the back office that breaks it down, basically how much you can earn. But we basically pay you half of whatever we collect. In some loans, we may make 7 points on it. But I'm just trying to set a reasonable expectation that even though merchant cash advances and revenue lending, you may be able to charge 10 or 15 points. You can't do it on an SBA loan. You can't do it on 401k financing. You can't do it on account receivable financing. So I'm not going to set the expectation of what you can do on one program to make the numbers sound good, when the reality is that 99% of financing, excluding the 1% that may be revenue lending, there's no way you're charging those kind of points to customers. So hopefully that gives you some feedback. We just don't rate people over the coals. It's not how we work. I have a million questions, but I think I'll wait until I talk to someone. No, but I would give us a ring, send us an email, guys. We want to talk to you and answer any questions that you have. How do I change my NAICS code if I selected the wrong one? Well, first figure out where it's listed and then fix it there. If the reporting agencies know it's wrong, you got to correct it with, or you got to have it already there as one thing. You got to work with them to fix it. If not, go to your Secretary of State and fix it there. That you could typically fix it there, and make sure you get it fixed on your tax returns as well. So hopefully that helps. I keep hearing all these real estate questions. Does having a real estate license help or make a difference in getting funding? No, it's a great question, but no, it does not make a difference. I'm an over-the-road trucker. Yeah, Linda, we could definitely help you. Like I said, we do a lot for people in the trucking industry. Guys, look, we've hung out here for about 40 minutes and answer questions. If you have others, give us a call, send us an email. Let us make sure that they're answered. There's others that are going to be rolling in, and I want to make sure all your questions are answered, but I don't want you all to have to wait an hour, 2 hours to get that done. Our number is 877-600-2487, info@creditsuite.com. Look, I've been where I think a lot of you are. I've been at the top. I owned a successful business. I've been at the bottom where I was almost at bankruptcy because I personally guaranteed everything and I didn't know any better. And the whole industry collapsed and the thing was a nightmare for me. I built the business from the ground up using my own money, and it was an absolute struggle and very difficult to do. Okay. Then I found this and I was able to take this business, and we're growing it very quickly because we have access to the capital we need to do so. But how do we make that possible for everybody? That's why we created our finance suite. Wouldn't it be nice if a person could go to one place and get access to all capital in one place? Wouldn't it be nice if you didn't have to ask these questions and not know and get frustrated and get nowhere in a year? If you actually had people to hold your hand and provide concierge service and walk you through every step, and that negotiated with lenders, and we get better deals with lenders because we do volume, then we save the money, we pass the money on, which then helps you and us get more customers. What would happen if we did all this? And that's exactly what we've done. We've created a way where it's cheaper for you to work with us than not. You've heard many people here in the questions paying D&B $800, $1,500 or more and all failing because they don't do anything for them. Whereas all that stuff's included. We do all that stuff as part of our program where you don't have to pay them the money. We're saving you $2,200 on credit money. We're giving you $1,000 business valuation and giving you the ability to evaluate your business anytime that you want to. You become a published author overnight. So you don't have to pay for 411 listing. You have saved $2,200 on monitoring. It's cheaper to work with us and we get the results so much faster, and you never have to worry about money again. Whenever you need money, our finance officers work up a finance blueprint, all the money you can get. We go to work through a bunch of different sources, a bunch of different programs to get you the most amount of money and do it at the best terms. And all of that in one program where indefinitely your ability to get money is greatly enhanced. We help you understand that by showing a profit on your tax returns that you have a chance to get this credit line, and this loan. We help you understand if you do this change or this change, it opens up these doors. So we believe in what we call a graduation process. We get you the money you can get now. We give you tips and teach you how to get to the next step, and then the next step and the next step. And then that way we get you to the end of SBA safely and secure. Nobody does this, guys. We're the only ones that do it because we're the only ones that have access to over 1,000 lenders and over 30 different funding programs in one place. It helps you get the most amount of money and do it at the best terms. And then it also takes a 2-year plus business credit building process, which I'm not exaggerating. You've seen people here have been working on it on a year. They're nowhere doing it on their own. And it condenses it to 6 months because of an advising team that helps you, because of our technology. And there's so many more things we're working on that we're on the cusp of right now. I can't even talk about until we're done, that deal with LexisNexis, that deal with small business financial exchange, that deal with credit scores that determine how lendable your business is, that tap into the same data that lenders are using to give you the ability to potentially add stuff to Experian and credit safe credit reports, just like you did with D&B, at a fraction of the price that actually work. So these are the kind of things that we constantly are working on and rolling out for our partners and our customers, making it easier and easier and easier to get money. And I really believe what we have put together is one of the easiest ways that you're ever going to find to get capital for your business credit and financing. I believe that. And I think our customers believe it too. And if you look at all the reviews, then like, I mean, it speaks for itself. You can see the good, the bad. You can see everything everybody's saying in detail, and you'll see there's very little, really no negative information about us because we do exactly what we say we're going to do. One, I know, novel concept in the world, but I think that's how life's supposed to be. Do exactly what you say you're going to do. Okay, it's the way my dad raised me growing up in a small town, and that's what we do as a company. And then beyond that, we constantly are progressive. And we're constantly rolling out new things. And if you're not happy, then boom, here's your money back. Go on your separate way. We're not going to force you to stay our client and pay for something you're not going to use. It's ridiculous. We struggle to get some people to use it that don't even want a refund. So we want you to succeed. And if this is something where you want to succeed, we'll work with you on payments. We've got plenty of options to make it affordable for you if it's something that makes sense. And if it is, get in touch with us. Give us a call. Send us an email. Let us talk with you more about if this can work for you, and let us get the money in your hands, because what we see every day is that entrepreneurs do ridiculously awesome things when they have the capital to do it. And that's what we love. We're passionate about getting you the money and then you telling us what you did with it and how your experience has changed and being part of that. That's what we feed off of every day. So we'd love for you to be part of our family. I think it makes a bunch of sense for you to do so. And hopefully you decide to join us. 877-600-2487, info@creditsuite.com. Few questions, and then I'm going to wrap this up. We don't need a lender license. No, the way we have it set up, we do all that for you. I want to start today, but I need creative financing to get started. Give us a call, send us an email. Our team might be here right now. If not, send us an email, leave us a voicemail if our team doesn't answer. And there's a good possibility we might get with you tonight because we have people on the West Coast. I want to start today, but I need and I just read that. I'll be in contact. Great. We're looking forward to working with you. Thanks for the tip. I missed the various packages you have for your service and partnerships. I'm assuming I get it for your website. You can. creditsuite.com/webinar. The partner program is VIP. Just building your own business credit is core, just so you know. Did you say you can assist in setting up LLCs? We help you with the entire process, soup to nuts, from setting up your business all the way through to getting financing and credit. Any other questions, guys, give us a call. 877-600-2487. info@creditsuite.com, and look forward to working with you. Look forward to seeing what it's like when we help you get the money and seeing what cool things you do with it on your own. Hey, even if you don't work with us, hopefully you walk away with some really cool information that will help make it easier for you to obtain capital, because I want you to get valuable information even if you're not buying for us. And excuse me for my voice. What's happened today is this is about 6 hours worth of webinars for me. So eventually my voice just surrendered. And hopefully it gets better, because I got to be speaking for a few days, starting in a few days. So I'm going to go rest my voice. I appreciate your patience with me on that. Give us a call, send us an email, and we'll talk to you more about getting started and answering any other questions you have. Thanks, everybody, very much. I know how valuable your time is. I hope you got a lot of great insight out of today, and I look forward to working with you. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.